Okay, hi everyone. Ooh, our model seems to be in the lower quadrant than it should be. There we go. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Hopefully you guys are also having a good start to your week. It is Monday, and it is the second Monday, which means it is podcast time. So let me just undeafen, and if you don't know who I am Peter, and basically we are going to have a chat with my friends Rainier and Johnny Boy. So let me just undeafen myself from Discord so they can introduce themselves. Okay.
Like his old PC is that I can finally play Warhammer with it. Oh, yeah.
Alright guys, you're on stream. Sorry if I interrupted.
Hello.
Yeah, so we have Rainier and Johnny Boy. Basically, yeah, these are my buds, and this is basically how we're gonna start the podcast, really. So basically, like, how you guys doing? First of all?
I'm doing fine.
Cool.
Yeah, we chillin'.
Excited
Yeah, it
for
sounds.
spring.
I guess so. Yeah, because like it's almost hard to believe it's spring, actually.
I just couldn't get. I was done with winter, like really early on. Like
I think a lot of
second
people
week
were
of
done with.
January.
I think a lot of people were done with winter. I feel you.
I usually like the cold, but yeah, sometimes the wind was like really strong
Yeah.
and it was really messy.
Oh, you should tell the story of like when you were driving to college and you couldn't defrost your windshield. You should tell that story.
So back when I was still going to a college in Jersey, like I had that was like my first car. I think it was a Honda Civic, and then like I was just like, you're just going through like the motion as a student and all that. When I got to my car, I think it was foggy, snowing and raining that day, and then it eventually like got hail started forming later on. But I got to my car and then I drove out of the college. I think I'm like 20 minutes away from my house, so like I was just driving there. I take the back roads because actually back roads make it longer, so maybe like 30-40 minutes. I was scared of taking the highway at the time, so like I always took back roads, and it's like 5 minutes of my drive. The what's that called? The glass, the window was fogging,
Windshield?
and I was like, the windshield, yeah, and I was like, huh. That's kind of bad, but it usually disappears after, it's like, what did you remember? It's like, oh, you just turn on like the AC, or you just turn on like your
Radiator, right?
the radiator, and like like the front windshield like wind thing, right? So that like it goes away. At the time I didn't realize that you have to press AC on. I thought it was automatic. So like AC for like radiator or for like the cooling. So I just I just turned it on. I was like, oh, this will go away, and then it fogged up so fast. and, and then after like a minute, I could barely see through my window, and I was like, oh. So like I kept like every like couple of 30 seconds to like 2 minutes, I would rub the front of my windshield while I'm driving. Just to
Wow.
see. And I'm like, oh, did the car like gawk out or something? And then it started hailing. Like, I started like hearing the rain was like beating up my car. I was like, what's going on? And then I opened my driver window, and then there's hail. But then after I opened up the driver window, I was like, oh, I could see better too. So I just started driving home with my head like outside the driver's window. Like I would peek while I'm driving, and like I'm kind of short, so like my toe is on the gas. Yeah, it was a bad experience. And then like when I got home, I told everybody about it, and they were like, bro. And then they went in my car, and then they were like, if you press this, that'll go away. And then I pressed the AC, and I was like, oh, this is
That is crazy.
Yo, like when he first told me this story, I was laughing so hard because knowing John, like I imagine him like being an anime character sticking his head out the window, and basically when I got home, you could see him smiling like the Joker and like having like icicles down his hair. And
yeah, there's
when
like frost. And I got in,
and then,
like,
and then
I
like,
was like,
and then like I can imagine your dad basically like, what happened to you? And it's like, I couldn't defrost the windshield.
basically. And then like other drivers, like you could see like at stop signs, you could see how panicked they were because of the hail, and then they just look at me
Yeah.
and they're just like, I just see them staring at me before we have to go, and I just go, and I'm like, wow, that person was in shock. It's just like, I guess
Seriously?
it's very bizarre for somebody to just like, you turn during a hailstorm,
Yeah.
and then somebody's head just out the window. I guess it's really bizarre.
Hi Luxor, how's it going? I'm guessing you're from Johnny Boy's like channel.
What up,
Hopefully
Jack?
you're.
Wow.
What's the best part of your day so far, my friend? Yeah, hopefully you're here to chill for like our podcast, because basically like we're just chilling. But yeah, like going back to it, like Johnny Boy is sort of like that person that's like very aloof, and I think it's very very funny, because like every time when he goes aloof, either we just like treat him like a child or we just laugh uncontrollably. It's just so freaking like hilarious.
Sometimes it's definitely on purpose, but there's a lot of times where it's not, and it's just like, well, we're caught in it, guys. We're just gonna have to play it off, you know.
Like, I love your reaction sometimes, because sometimes when I say something, you're like, yo, stop saying that! You're just, like, so dramatic. Oh, all the time. It's just so funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
like-
related. Oh,
It's so
sorry, go ahead.
relatable though. The only thing I'll say about the radiator thing was, it's like no one taught me that either. It's like something that I learned the hard way as well, just like you.
Yeah.
It wasn't as
Yeah.
terrible of a situation, but it's like I like fiddle around. It's like, oh, okay, turning on this causes fog, and turning on that,
Yeah.
you know, helps a bit.
Yeah.
But
I think it's like sometimes like when your parents are teaching you, they teach you how to parallel park and all the stuff for the test. But then when it comes to the other stuff, you're just like,
not
oh,
that
yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you think about it and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that.
I'm almost positive they thought like it should be second nature, like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be taught. And then I guess like I just never see them like press the AC button or something. So,
Yeah.
like,
Or you didn't
when I
notice it.
yeah, so like when I saw them do it for the first time, I was like, oh.
No,
And
like
then
I
it's,
actually,
like,
I actually
like-
had a brain fart because like I don't have a car anymore, right? So like I use my dad's car sometimes to drive around, and like I was dropping off Ronster and his sister at Ronster's apartment, right? And then like I don't know why, but my brain completely blanked out because like my emergency lights were on, because Ronster was driving my car because I let him drive my car because he knew where to go. So basically, like after I dropped him off and we switched places, I completely forgot how to turn off the emergency lights, and there was a car behind me. Like I think they were about to get out of their parking space and about to like actually like come behind me, and I don't know why, but my brain farted and I just basically couldn't figure out how to turn off the emergency lights, and then I had to I was looking everywhere, and then I called Ronster on my cell phone, and I basically was like, oh Ronster, how do you turn off the emergency lights? And he just burst out laughing, and he was like, yo Peter, and then he just ran out the car and just pushed the button for me. I was like, oh. It was just so funny because I was like, why did my brain fart? And I think my brain farted because I saw a car behind me and I was like, oh, I gotta disengage the emergency lights, but then suddenly I just realized, oh, this is not my car, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot how to turn off the emergency lights. It was just
Wow.
it was just a funny story. I was laughing more than being embarrassed, because like I realized that my brain like has massive brain farts a lot, especially when it comes to like everyday things that people like do sometimes. It's like when
Yeah,
you're
I-
writing something and you forget to spell a certain word that you know how to spell, but you just forgot.
I caught myself in a thought like that. I think I was watching. I just started watching Study Group.
Yeah.
It's a K-drama based off like a webtoon.
Yeah.
And like essentially, I guess like I don't know like how to explain. I guess it's like his skill set.
Yeah.
Like somebody was basically saying like his skill set is like all physical, but he has
Yeah.
like no mental skills.
Uh-huh.
So the whole premise is basically like he wants to study, he wants to be like a smart, like good student. That's at least
Oh.
like all we know right now. Like he's been obsessed with wanting to be a smart student like since he was a kid. He's like a high schooler now, I think, or he's going to college or whatever.
Yeah.
And then but he's just like dumb, like like he just like he sat down with a classmate, and the classmate taught him like how to answer a math problem after he like really bugged him,
Yeah.
and then he still didn't understand it. So then the classmate did like a cake as an example, split it into like pieces,
Yeah.
and basically so the answer is basically 0.99 like forever, right? And then
Uh-huh.
he's like, which is 1, and then the MC's like, where did the 1 come from? And then the guy is like, no, you still don't get it. He's like, no. And then the other guy's like, dude, you're just dumb then. And then he's like, well, I could tell that you study a lot, so just teach me. And then the guy got frustrated and was like, how could you tell? And then the MC like talked about how like he has calluses on his hands, which are like
Yeah.
probably relatable to him, like really like always like using a pen to
Yeah.
write answers down.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about how his haircut is like he likes to have a long haircut because there's poof in his hair, but it's
Uh-huh.
like short because he doesn't want to be blocked. His eyesight doesn't want to be blocked, which he thinks is related to him like studying, like reading a lot.
Uh-huh.
And then how like he has like markings I think on his palm, which are
Yeah.
relative like ink, like when you're taking notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you get like markings of like ink on your palm.
Yeah.
So it's like he was able to analyze all that, and he says it really fast, like within like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, I still don't understand why it's 1. And
I think I know what you're talking about. So basically, I think like the math problem they're talking about. I haven't even seen the show, but I'm guessing is like proving
You probably
that like 0.99999 equals to 1. I'm guessing that was the math question, and you have to prove that it is 1. That's what I'm guessing. That was the problem. I'm guessing,
it
right?
was, it's like I think that's specifically his problem, but I think the
Yeah.
math question was just to get the answer. Like there was like a problem, and then all you have to do is solve it.
Yeah.
And then the solution is 1. But then the main character doesn't understand why it's 1. So then the other
Yeah.
guy's explaining why it's 1. But then
Actually, like that type of question, it would be reasonable for people to ask that question because, like, not many people know that there's a algebraic way to solve that. To basically say, like, if you have like 0.99999 and it goes all the way to infinity, how do you prove that that is actually 1? Like, not many people know how to prove that mathematically. Like, at least
Right.
like from based on regular algebra.
it's
but
more
you
of like
can-
you're taught to know, like you're taught
Yeah.
to round it up to 1, but you don't know why. Like
Yeah. Oh my gosh, hey Tons, the answer is 4.
there you go.
1
Same.
plus 1 equals 4.
Tons is in the chat. Welcome, Tons. What's the best part of
What
your
up,
day so far?
Towns?
Yeah, we're
Cracking.
having our podcast, so yeah, like join in the conversation and chat if you like to, and tell us how awesome your side of the world is. But yeah, go on.
Like additionally, sorry, it's since I brought it up, like
Yeah.
so the reason why he's also considered dumb is like he always is either the second or like third. I don't think he's ever number 1, but he's always second or third worst student like in the class. Not
Oh.
because of anything else, but just because of his studies.
Oh, okay.
Wherever he goes.
It's like a ranking thing. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then like he has like trauma from study groups because it's like when he learned about study groups, he
Yeah.
tried trying to join them,
Yeah.
but everyone just like, sorry man, you're too dumb. And it's just like,
Oh, yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
help. That doesn't help. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
guys, like anyone that basically feels like in that category, like
Well-
the thing of it is that school has like a curriculum, and it's not you. It's
The
just
thing is,
basically how you're
like,
learning.
It's only
Right.
testing. So now we know that there's different types of intelligence, obviously. And
Yeah.
Usually, in that situation, when we say it's dumb, it's mostly like academically dumb. But
right.
there's like emotional intelligence, and
Yeah.
social intelligence, and all that.
Yeah.
I think physical intelligence is a thing too. Like, I guess it's more relatable to motor skills, but I think like
Yeah.
being in tune with your body has a level of intelligence tied to it too.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
like the
absolutely,
dexterity
yeah.
And I mean, all the pro gamers in like esports, for example, or all the pro piano
Yeah.
or musical instruments.
Yeah. There's like different categories of like brilliance in that way, and you probably have one. You just like it's just that honestly, there's probably like a lot of venues where it's not valued. And that's not your
Yeah.
fault. That's just basically like,
Yeah.
it's just like here's the thing about society, right? There are people that think that everything is dictated by results, and there are people that think that it's dictated by a person's intentions. So, if you intend to be a good person, and if you intend to actually be intelligent in the way that is good for you, such as being a good person, being kind, providing for your family, your loved ones, and doing the best that you can. So, like, you know, it doesn't even have to be, like, academically. It could be, like, you know, you hitting the gym and just lifting weights, and basically it's like, oh, I'm basically doing this because I'm trying to be a better construction worker, or trying to be a better garbage man, or someone that helps cleans up society or something, you know? It's like those type of things.
I think that, like, a good parent, in my opinion, explores different types of potential intelligence of their kid, right?
Oh,
Instead of like
yeah.
railroading them into you're gonna be a doctor, engineer, or lawyer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I understand the intent of those type of parents too, because it's like, I don't want my child to suffer the way I suffered, but at the same time, they don't share that experience. Like, sometimes it's like those typical dramas where it's like you have the compassionate parent and you have the very strict parent, and then the strict parent, and the tiger parent, and like basically the tiger parent argues with the kid, and the kid is like, why aren't you listening to me? And it's like, I am listening to you, and it's dumb. And it's like basically like that type of argument, and then suddenly from the compassionate parent is like, you know, your father or mother, like, you know, they just want what's best for you. And at the same time, it's like, did I ever tell you that your mother did the same thing, or your father did the same thing that you're doing? And it's like, no, they never told me that. It's like, yeah, they don't want you to know, because like that's the stuff that they dealt with, and like when they did it and they disobeyed their parents, they ended up with a bad result. So they don't want you to copy their mistake. That's usually what happens. Like, I mean, that's usually what happens, but the parent and the child don't communicate that, which I think is really, really silly. But every person has a different thing that they can reveal and be vulnerable with, and sometimes those type of parents don't want to be vulnerable with that because they haven't dealt with the emotions of that.
Right.
You know? Tons basically say, hey, it's John, hello. And Tons also says, hello, Rain.
Hello.
Yeah, so basically, I think, like, you know, with parents, like, it's really hard because they know they can't reveal too much to their kids because they want to learn. They want their kids to learn. But at the same time, it's like, it's as if, like, there's some things as a parent you can't reveal to your kids until they experience it for themselves, you know?
Yeah, of course. Like, you know, learning how to defog your windshield. That's a good example.
Right.
That's a very good example. Very good example. It's like, I could show you how to press the button, but then you won't know the struggle of actually knowing how to not find it.
What doesn't kill you make you stronger, right? So John's stronger after that.
Yeah,
right?
like, I mean, that phrase, like, I know the intent of that phrase, but at the same time, like, sometimes that phrase is misused, and I think it's been used and abused, like, a lot. Especially by people that think that, oh, I have the right to talk down on you because I have this amount of either status or, I guess, like, stuff, like, you know, high money in the bank account, or I have a house, or I have a family, you know, all of that stuff. I have the right to talk down on you because you want the things I have, but you haven't had them yet. You know, that type of thing.
Right.
Oh, hey, Ronster. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Let's see. One thing I hate about parents is that if a parent is throwing a tantrum anywhere, don't pull out your phone and freaking pick the nightmare up and take him outside. Console the kid. Don't just leave them there. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was a thing. I guess it is a thing. Hey, Big Pup, how's it going? Oh yeah, and there is a question of the day for you guys. So if there's anything you want us to discuss in this podcast or like the next podcast, you're more than happy to type it in the chat and we can like chat about it, you know?
Hey guys. What up, Pup? It's been a while.
Yeah. What's the best part of your day so far, Big Pup? That happened to work at work today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's really bad though. Like, if your kid's throwing a tantrum, right? Like, I know it's hard, but at the same time, it's like, I think, like, there's plenty of YouTube videos that tell you how to, like, treat that. and like they do it in the most emotionally intelligent way possible. I mean, sure, it might not work, but at the same time, it's something like you get more resources than nothing, right? Because can you imagine what it was like back in the day without the internet, without social media, to basically say to a parent like, hey, you're gonna be okay, like if you're able to do this with your child, or like understand why your child's doing this, maybe there's a way you can navigate it so it's like the kid doesn't throw as bad a tantrum next time, you know? I know that sounds like it's easy, but it's really not, and I get it. And I'm just basically saying that, you know, we have a lot more resources to help us now. Even though, like, most parents would say, if you follow the book, it doesn't work. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
It's parenting is a little tricky for sure, because obviously each child is like different. And I'm pretty sure there's not a solid answer. What I mean is like if you prescribe something that this is how you should parent, you'll be getting backlash from like one side or the other, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely there is something to be said about like children causing like public chaos, and you know.
Yeah, of course. Like, I think like kids, they throw tantrums because it's like they're still in like their bodies, but they're not fully aware of their emotions, and they're also not fully aware of that their emotions are in their control. Like, even adults don't even know that. They don't even know that their emotions are in their control. So, like, you know, that's why you have, like, adults throwing tantrums, because, like, they don't really know that they're throwing a tantrum because they just feel it erupt.
It's actually the parents is throwing a tantrum back.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
there's some parents that do that. It's like, if you don't listen to me right now, I'm gonna take away your toys or something like that. It's like something like that, you know? But then that's what either, like, if a kid is used to it, that's what the kid probably would want out of their parent. Like, that type of reaction.
Like a reaction? Yeah.
Yeah, like that type of reaction, right? Because it's like, yay, now you're paying attention to me now and all that stuff, you know? I mean, it's not like some kids are manipulative, but there are some kids that just basically like, no, you don't pay attention to me enough. You're too busy with work, or you're too busy with this thing and that thing. And in the parent's mind, it's like, yeah, well, I'm doing that to make sure that we're responsible and taking care of you. And you know, those toys that we bought for you, we're working because we want to give you all those nice toys that you want so much. You know, those type of things. Let's see. Oh, you guys are being active in the chat. Let's see what you got. Let's see. They'll take the electronics away, and then it's the end of the world. Yeah, true. Like kids are being on their phones much more early in age.
Especially nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, especially like when I see parents give their babies like cell phones and like have them play with it. I get so paranoid with that, because I'm like, like I understand what you're doing, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want your kid to be addicted to that. You know, like,
yeah, when I see like a 5 or 6 year old like with a cell phone, I think it's way too early.
Yeah,
like,
it's way too early in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, you know, parent the way you want to parent, and I get it, because like we're not parents, so we don't have the right to criticize your parenting. But at the same time, I feel as if, like, you know, you have to nurture. I feel like nurturing your kids' creativity is more important, especially during that early age. Because, I mean, like, I think nowadays kids are developing less of imagination than we grew up with. I mean, that's not me trying to sound like a boomer or anything, but I just feel like kids are not... They're not taking advantage of the fact that they can go outside and play wizard, or, like, play Harry Potter and, like, pretend they're witches and wizards using just sticks on the ground, you know?
Yeah, sometimes I think about that, like, because the world is so, like, information focused,
Right.
like, is it really because that we've progressed so much in technology that less kids are playing outside? Or is it because, like, sometimes the outside now is more dangerous than before because of the lack of, like, kids that have been playing outside? So it's like, just a theory, definitely not proven, but it's like, what if, since, like, kids aren't playing as much outside now, you see, like, a lot of, like, suspicious adults or whatever, or like, you know, just suspicious individuals just coming out more doing, like, suspicious things because they don't, you know, they don't see kids outside, which means, like, there's probably not going to be any cops around, which means, like, they could just do whatever they want. So, like, when kids actually do go outside, they get caught in, like, trouble or something.
Right.
which is like why they usually stay inside now. Or it's like the information that you get online, like regardless if it's fake or not, the kids will see that too. So then like maybe
Yeah.
they become paranoid, or the kids' parents become paranoid about having the kids play outside and all that.
Oh yeah,
They're, like they
definitely.
miss out on like all of the. I mean, they miss out on a lot of stuff that we went through, but it's it's always like a roll, like a dice roll. There
Yeah.
are definitely like certain areas that are safer than others, but like when your kid is outside, it's understandable as a parent that you'd be like
Mhm.
To be
skeptical
worried for sure.
about.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like Ronster basically typed in like try 9 months, like a kid that's 9 months old using a cell phone. Oh my goodness, that's
Jesus.
like scary territory for me. I mean, like I said, we're not parents and we're not judging you if you do it. It's just that like it's not to make you feel ashamed or anything, but I guess in my opinion, I feel like it's okay to expose your kid to a phone, but at the same time, it's like try to find like with all the resources that people are putting out there, especially entrepreneurs nowadays. They're trying to make stuff that's really good for kids, like stuffed animals that are not made of hazardous materials, good picture books that are chewable for like toddlers or like 1-year-olds or 9-month-olds, so they can actually have the pages and chew on them, because obviously kids love putting things in their mouths. So I think there's a way to actually nourish a kid's imagination without putting their eyes on a screen. I mean, that's how I
Yeah.
feel about it.
Obviously, I'm 30 plus. I grew up in before the explosion of technology, so I think
Yeah.
we're part of the generation that did play outside.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
But at the
definitely.
same time, wait. At the same time, though, it
Mhm.
was a transition period because that was the rise of like internet cafes and stuff, and
Oh
Right.
yeah.
the
Yeah.
transition from dial-ups and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
I
So-
definitely played computer games as well.
Right.
Right. It's also like the internet, like when it first started, or like I guess like when we were growing up, it
Mhm.
was definitely not as fast as now. So
Yep.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
definitely. Yeah.
it's like you could like try to download like music or something, but then it's like you've been waiting for 2 hours, and so like 10%,
Yeah.
it's like I'm gonna just go outside.
You,
Like,
you
I'll-
yeah, exactly.
Like
gonna
you
go
remember,
outside.
you remember like BitTorrent and LimeWire? Oh
Yeah,
my
exactly.
god!
Ever.
Like so if anyone's younger than like the year 2000, let me tell you about LimeWire and BitTorrent. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with BitTorrent because I think torrent is still a thing. So but they just changed it to torrent. So basically BitTorrent is just like you basically like download stuff from like the internet, but it's running on a software that allows you to download it from other computers. So like basically when you're downloading something, it basically is like it's taking the download from multiple computers, so that way it goes to your computer. LimeWire works the same way. You basically download stuff, and then like it's like either a song or like an anime or anything that you want to find online. And those were not really great resources to download because they would give a lot of viruses to your computer.
Yeah, it's like the freaking. It's the Wild West. That's how like.
Yeah, it was a
I would
Wild West
describe
of
it.
down. Yeah.
There is
yeah.
no regulation. There is no security. There is no restriction at all. So you
Yeah.
can like malwares were everywhere, viruses were everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Everything was in LimeWire and
Let's
BitTorrent.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, your
Right.
your Twitch crash? What's going on, Tons? I'll say
I know,
with you,
like-
Ronster. What's going on?
LimeWire also had that thing where it was like the George Bush, like
Uh-huh.
you download some of these files, and then when you open it up, regardless of what the file is, like whether it's a video or a music or whatever,
Yeah.
it starts like my fellow Americans something something. It's just like it's like an ad. It's like a really bad ad, and it's
Yeah.
just like it's copied over so many different things that you try to download from LimeWire.
Right.
So like everyone has at least experienced, or most people have experienced like one time where they download something from LimeWire and then
Yeah.
they get the My Fellow Americans thing, and then like
Oh
they get
no!
so mad. Just, like the download is usually the download is usually like the same amount as like whatever you're downloading. So if like the video takes like 5 hours to download, it'll take like around 5 hours. If it's like a song that's like 20 minutes, it'll take 20 minutes.
Sheesh.
And then- So like when you're finally done
Uh-huh.
and then you listen to that,
Yeah.
it's just like you just spent like your whole internet day just
Yep.
like downloading trash. It's just like nice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
It's
I
just
remember like one time, right? I think like it was LimeWire. I think like me and my friends were trying to download an anime, but then when we downloaded it turned out to be the most cursed thing we downloaded. I was like, oh shit, turn it off, turn it off.
Like the anime was cursed, or was it replaced by something else?
No, it was replaced with something else, and I don't want to mention what it was because it was just so bad. I was like, oh man, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that running around too.
Yeah, we got trolled on that download. It wasn't great. Oh my gosh, yo, like I feel bad for people, like, cause like I think nowadays, because of like things like that happening, I think a lot of people are trying to avoid downloading stuff now, like, you know, because it could put stuff on your computer. So I think that's why streaming became such a thing, because it's like, oh, you don't have to download it, you just have to access a website and just watch it, because it's not going to be nothing's going to be installed on your computer, it's just going to be on your web browser.
Yeah, it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
And you know, cybersecurity has gone better throughout the years.
Yeah, it's gotten better, yeah, of course. John should know because he actually worked in cybersecurity.
Oh.
I should know, but I don't.
But you plan to get your certification back soon, right? Because you used to have it, but then you have to renew it, right?
Eventually, I never technically had it, but I graduated. That was like my degree in graduation with a minor in forensics. But like I technically never had a cert, so like most of the jobs that I've done, they're technically not even cyber, but like some of the IT jobs I've done was related to like investigation stuff, but it's like it's more like tools to investigate people than it is like actual software and stuff, or like, you know, like if it's a security tool software, it's used to like secure accounts or something like that. It's not actually like related to like the technical side of like fixing a computer, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was just security tools.
Yeah, before you go to your next point, Big Pup gave a hydrate to all of us, so hydrate, guys. Keep yourself hydrated.
Water?
Yeah, get some water.
I gotta get one.
Yeah, get some water.
I have my spit.
Right back.
I'm just kidding.
See, you say the most randomest stuff, and it's funny. I don't know why that happens.
Bro, spit, bro. You get hydrated with spit.
No, you just say the most random stuff, and I think that's why I giggle so much whenever you say random stuff. Like, there was this one time when we were in Washington, D.C., and I probably told this story many times, but I just love telling it. Like, we were, like, in your neck of the woods. We were driving home from Bubble Tea, and you randomly stop at a stoplight, and you were like, I'm Napoleon! I am the foundation of the Eiffel Tower! And we were just burst out laughing, because you were just so random with the way you were talking. It was just so ridiculous.
It was like the stress, because it's like we were trying this bubble tea spot I've never been to.
Yeah.
It was like the stress to get there, because like we drove there the first time, but it was on the other side of the road, so we can't just like cross over, so I had to U-turn to get there.
Not to mention Kevin was giving you a lot of shtick.
Yeah, like the whole time he was backseating, and then I missed the entrance because like I saw a different road.
Yeah.
But then it was the exit, and then there was an entrance that's like being covered by a tree. So then we had to like go back.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? And then like when we went in, like, you know, it was a really cool spot, and then we got our stuff. But when we were leaving, you know, everything was going smooth. Then like there was like a bad driver, I think, that like almost hit us or something.
Yeah.
And then because they like slowed us down, we weren't able to get to the green light, and it turned yellow when we were about to go.
Oh yeah, that's when you burst out.
Yeah, they gassed that, like they gassed up. So like, you know, they gassed during the yellow light, but of course they're not gonna make it because they're right in front of us. So I had to stop. And I was so irritated, and I think like Kevin said something, and I was like, "Oh, Napoleon!"
Lo, like the way you started out, you were like, "Yo, I'm Napoleon! I'm the Eiffel Tower! I am the foundation!" It was just, and like, oh my god, it sounded like you were high on something, and it was just so freaking hilarious.
I think it was just like.
Big Pup says it's possible that John might have had a spiked bulb.
I think it was just like I think at the moment I was thinking about, like, for whatever reason I was thinking about Napoleon driving a car and then getting into road rage. And I'm like, what would he do in this situation? And it's just like, it was like instant behavior.
It's like someone asked you, what are you gonna do, John? Whatever I want, gosh.
Oh, Bam, like throws me back to Bam Margera having his own show, and he would say that at the end of the opening.
Oh my
Every
gosh.
time I heard that, I would get so irritated. I'm like, Bam, you're not that unstoppable, bro.
Oh my
And he like
gosh.
he bullies his I think he semi bullied his dad, but he really bullied his uncle on the show too.
Yeah.
It's like it was funny, but it was also like sometimes he took it too far, and then it
Oh
was just
yeah.
irritating.
Yeah.
But
Like.
there was no, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no. Like basically like Monster said like, oh man, Viva la Bam.
Yeah, Viva La Bam, exactly. I don't remember when I looked at it, but I was reading something and it talked about Bam Margera now, and then his life is like really bad now, and I was like, damn, is that karma? But it's like
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
I mean, like, it reminds me, like, stuff like that, right? Since you brought it up, right? Now I'm thinking about all the pranking channels that used to be popular on YouTube. And, like, now people are thinking that they're very obnoxious. I mean, some people still watch them, don't get me wrong. But I don't watch pranking channels because I know they're doing it for the views. And when they do it for the views, things are gonna go wrong. Like, someone's gonna do a prank that goes way too far, and then suddenly they're gonna have to pay the price for it. And it's gonna be so bad. Like, you know, I think like some pranking channels, they probably got their stuff taken down because they probably made the pranks too serious, you know?
Oh yeah, there was a prank that he got shot in the stomach.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
yeah, there you
Someone in
go.
the mall.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
like,
those ones where
dangerous.
they dress up like scary characters too, and then they try to scare other people. I remember there was one where they did it to like a group of people playing basketball or something.
yeah.
I don't know if it belonged to a gang, but after they did that, like all
Yeah.
of like people playing basketball like ran at them, and one of them had a gun, and then they were
Oh,
like,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really crazy. You know, yeah, like, you know, guys, like, sometimes that gets... Okay, like, I understand, like, it's April Fool's Day, and you're like, we should play pranks on each other. It'll be funny. Just make sure the prank is, like, not very traumatizing to the person you're pulling the prank on. Because, like, I mean, for me, it's like, I think, like, if you basically, like, say, like, look at your shirt, and then basically the person looks up down at their shirt, and then you just basically just, like, what was it? Like, you know, you put your index finger and you just, like, whip them on the nose, like what we used to do back in the 90s. That's okay, because it's like, yeah, I got you, and basically because you look down. That's fine, you know, as long as you don't hit them very hard. But at the same time, it's like, I think, like, where I draw the line is, like, if you put laxative in someone's drink, and, like, you put too much of it, and then they have to go to the bathroom every single day, and it ruins, like, their day, as well as, like, what if they had stuff to do,
No, there
then
was
I think that kind of goes too far. I don't like it when people put laxative in people's drinks.
yeah,
It makes it
well,
funny.
there's one about laxatives, but he put them on bird feed
Yeah.
or like breadcrumbs and
Yeah.
had like the pigeons or the seagulls eat it. But
Yeah.
he's at like a public beach or something,
Yeah.
so the birds just started like raining poop on everyone.
Oh, damn. No problem,
There's
Monster. Take your
also-
time.
I heard about another. I forgot what he fed the bird, but like there's
Yeah.
there's something if you feed the bird. I think it's like edible for humans. But
Yeah.
if you feed birds, they like explode.
What?
I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't know if it's a rumor, but there was something about like this person fed these birds something, and then they like exploded. me,
Ton says rice. Ton.
Oh,
you type-
maybe it is.
You type something. That topic. There are also channels where the user is doing a wholesome gesture, i.e., giving money and telling them to do something to get karma points, and end up not giving any, or having a paid actor do to be in distress. Oh, are you talking about those channels where it's like there's like two actors and like they pretend to either be like a boss that's basically over, like, basically abusing a lower worker, and then basically like they want to see the person nearby's reaction? No? Oh, okay.
It's like the one where I think Hans is talking about where like they donate to like the homeless,
Uh-huh.
and then like they're being nice. Like the whole video is basically them being nice to homeless people or something.
Yeah.
And then like in return they'll be like, oh, you know, just upload the video, or like just like send donations to like to balance it out or whatever. Like
Uh-huh.
they'll say like some good message, but then like half of them in reality they don't actually like give it to the homeless. They'll like
Oh, okay.
that
Like
was
a
just
like a
promo,
scammy
and then-
video.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. That's what you meant, Tons. Okay, I see. Oh, and Big Pup basically did a posture check. So everyone check
Right.
their posture. Check your posture. But yeah, like I get what you mean, Tons. Yeah, that's really messed up. But there's also like those. I love those channels where it's like they try to find the good in humanity. So I think it's a Japanese channel, right? And what happens is that this channel, I don't remember the name of the channel, but they had like two actors, and one actor was like basically acting as the superior employee, and another actor was basically acting as the lower employee. And what happens is that like they perform this scene where it's like the superior is like talking down on the new employee because they messed up on something. And what really warms my heart is when like someone that they're acting around comes over to the lower employee and basically said, yo, it's fine, yo, that guy was a jerk. You know, like, if you don't like your job, just quit. You know, like, it's okay. No one's gonna look down on you if you leave a bad situation. And there was even one guy, I think he was like really old, and he worked at a company, and he was wearing a suit. Like, he looked like a like, not posh, but he looked like a professional, like, elder Oji-san, but like a salary man. And he basically walked up to the actor that was playing the superior senpai, and he basically was like, yo, calm down, you know, like, I understand you have to make quota, and I've been in business a long time, but that's no way to treat your kohai, right? And I was like, yo, like, when I watch videos like that, I'm like, yo, humanity is good with these type of people.
Temporarily
Humanity
restored.
restored.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
I love those videos. I love those videos because like the internet, right? Like even though the internet has been a blessing for us, and sometimes it's also been a curse because I feel as if because of the internet as well as like the terrible times that have been happening with us, like, you know, with either the economy or certain like government systems, it feels as if like everyone feels as if, oh, I have the right to be snarky because there are no honorable chivalrous people anymore, or it's corny to be chivalrous or compassionate, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel though. But like I can understand why people are like, why are we watching a movie where it's basically the main character thinks he's so chivalrous all the time? Like, you know, like where's the Zang? Where's the like gotcha comebacks? You know, I want to watch a hero that basically like talks crap about people, you know, and doesn't take crap from anybody. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah, I mean, people are also drawn to like drama just because it's like entertaining. Like at the workplace,
Yeah.
that's sometimes. Well, I guess anybody's workplace or even like any friend group where, like a lot of socialites, they
Yeah.
probably deal with that where sometimes like there's one friend or one person they know who just creates drama just because it's like entertaining or just because they're bored or something like that.
Right.
Just to stir trouble and like cause like a scene.
Yeah. You didn't miss much, Ronster. We're still talking the breeze. We're still talking the
Yeah, I
breeze.
do think that like humans in general are like drawn to drama as much as we like to say like we hate drama, you know?
It's as if like for me, I noticed that a lot of people just like to be snarky. It's like they want to be snarky, but it's sort of like I've been hurt in the past, but I'm gonna be snarky because I know everyone else is gonna be like, yo, quit being corny, yo, like get out of here with that friendship like, you know, that type of stuff, right?
Right.
It's like they're dissing, like, you know, the things that we humans look for as if it's like something weak or something like we all want, but we can't say out loud that we want it, otherwise we're like corny or something like that, you know?
Good intentions.
Yeah, the intentions of it, yeah. And I kind of get tired of that. I don't know, but that's just me, though. I think they just want, like, people that seem like, oh, they don't come from, like, a storybook. Like, they're actually real people that will insult me everywhere I go, and I will develop from that as, like, fuel to make me stronger or to make me better or something, I guess. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I guess it's different for different people. Like,
Right.
certain things drive other people, but yeah. I mean, for me, it's just corny. Like, I like, even before this, the new job I have, like
Mm-hmm.
even just chilling, like even like being at home or like just not working, like
Mm-hmm.
I just the whole reason I'm chilling out or playing games is just chill out. Like even when we're playing, like we might play like I guess like Call of Duty or like Battlefield or like a fighting game or something, which could be considered stressful,
Uh-huh.
but it's like it's fun. Like it's like it might be considered like stressful or whatever, but it's like fun because we're not. I mean, I'm never taking it too seriously. Like
Mm-hmm.
I might like rage, but well, I don't really rage anymore. But like when I was younger, I used to rage a lot, and like
Uh-huh.
when I would rage, it's
Yeah.
just funny because when my cousins are over,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Yo, why are you raging?" And I'm like, "Yo," like I'll say some dumb like thing, like I'll be like, "Yo, I'm gonna shove this phone in my ear." Like I'm just gonna say like something dumb. So obviously I'm not gonna do that because it's like that's how you can tell I'm not like being serious. But but like like there's wow, I just forgot the point I was making. Hold up.
Because you were shoving that phone in your ear.
Let me
Get
let
that
me
phone out of here.
That is the most
uh,
hilarious thing. Like I never, because I never see you rage, and I'm like I keep thinking about like, yo, what's the next random thing that's gonna come out of your mouth? Because whenever you're trying to like clown around, you say the most weirdest thing, and it would just get me laughing. It's like, I don't know, like guys, like if you haven't hanged out with John, he's like the random anomaly that you never expect, because like out of nowhere, right? Like if someone burps, right, instead of saying excuse me, he would be like, yo, excuse you.
that word I can't do that.
Like he would be that random person that would say something, and that's not even the most random he's gotten. Like I think like there was this one time, right, like when we were like staying together for Otakon, like we were like at his cousin's place, right? Our friend Kev basically farted, and then like he was like in half asleep, he basically like, yo, point that thing the other way.
we were all sleeping in the living room.
No, you didn't even remember, and I had to tell you because I wasn't sleeping and I was just dying, and you were like, yo, Peter, why are you dying? And I was like, yo, last night John basically said to Kev, yo, point that thing the other way.
And then Kevin was saying something else back, but he doesn't remember it either. Like we were having conversations. So we didn't...
Yeah, he was like, yo, fuck you, John. I'll freaking fart in your face. Oh, Ronster basically said he's the anomaly. He's the silent chosen.
Okay,
Who's chosen me is the question.
Ton says, or B, like, I bet the burp smelled like your favorite food. Right, yeah, John would say more like...
Yeah, I compliment. So like I've heard there's like girls that have burped at my work, and then like people are like you or like excuse me or something, and then I'll be like nice, like I'll like compliment it, and then that's like as far as I go with it. I don't say anything else, but like when people burp at work, I just say nice instead. And
one
so,
day, like John will
like,
say that, like you basically will be at a bar, and then basically a girl will burp, and she's like, "Oh, excuse me," and it's like, and you're like, "Nice," and then she just go, and then she leans towards you, and it's like, so you come here often?" That's like how John picks up his next girlfriend. It's like basically it's like how did you guys meet? It's like she burped and I said nice.
That's how I met your mother.
That's how I met your mother.
Some of the first thoughts I would have though is like, is this gonna be normal behavior? Is she more disgusting than this?
That's only what you see in public.
Hey, it's a match made in heaven with you, John, because you always talk about poop and farting.
Yes, the mind of a 12-year-old or 15-year-old type of comedy. I still, oh man, I'll look for it later, but
Yeah.
there's a webtoon that I always recommend people.
Yeah.
If they're into like, I mean, you know, you can't like laugh at every, I guess, like poop or fart joke or whatever, but
Right.
there's literally a webtoon where every chapter has to deal with like poop, farting, or vomiting.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
so like it sounds so childish, but the setups are so good, and it's from like a Korean I think it's
Webtoon?
Korean writer. Yeah, it's a webtoon, and like their timing for everything. It's weird, right? Because it's a webtoon, so it's like how is their timing for it?
Mhm.
But it's just like the way it's drawn and written is so perfect. Some of the jokes are just so good. Of course, like they don't all land,
Yeah.
but like most of the poop jokes like land, and it's just like I can't believe like how did this happen? Like there's one where there was like a poop war, and
Yeah.
there's a point where some guy turns his poop into like a helicopter,
Right.
so he's like spraying like the whole room, and then
Uh-huh.
it just gets like it just keeps getting crazier. Like
Oh,
there's a dude with a
man.
bazooka that shoots like poop.
Oh,
There's just like
what?
it's just wild. There's just like this. I'll put it up later, but
Oh my
it's
god, I don't
crazy.
even want to look at that at that point. That sounds so gross.
And with all these webtoons being animated, it's so like it's such a long shot. But because there was that other one, the one on Netflix with the actor that has like he's known as like the giraffe.
Oh, Lee Kwan Soo?
Yeah, Kwanzaa, and he has there's that the comedy on Netflix, which is like the one
Uh-huh.
where it was about his family, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like the poop and everything, and then
Yeah.
like his girlfriend or his wife now, like the way they met was like ultra embarrassing or whatever.
Right.
Like for webtoons like that to get a live action like
Yeah.
shocked me because I'm like, how are these getting live actions or like even animations? Because these are like to me these were so indie, but they're popular, but no one talks about them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now like they're getting animations, they're getting like live, like yeah, Study Group. It's literally on Webtoons right now.
Yeah, I
and now
haven't
it
watched
has-
that one.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. If you could find the episodes, I think you'll like it. Or you could just read the webtoon, but it looks like they've done a good job with the live action so far. It's pretty good.
Thank you for redeeming that, Big Pup. Like he redeemed like the John Protects Chat redeem. Oh my gosh, I forgot I still had that redeem up. But yeah, like I get
Oh.
your point.
Very, very long turn back around, but I think the
Yeah.
reason why I was talking about the game raging thing is because drama, people like drama, but then like that, so like shooting, fighting games and stuff like that, that could technically be like gaming drama that we enjoy, like the
Yeah.
whole like the whole sense. This is almost like bias as well, but there's that
Uh-huh.
whole thing where they say like men for whatever reason men have the subconscious instinct for their final death to be like the final battle or the last stand or
Yeah, I
whatever.
heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like those things are just like pure iterations of it. So like those are like the types of dramas that like we usually enjoy. But then
Uh-huh.
I don't want to hear about like two girls bickering about like what Janine said or something, or like
Oh, yeah.
I don't wanna like hear about like what one person thinks about another person's family. Like that's the type of drama I
Yeah.
don't want to hear. So
Yeah.
but it might be different for other people. So
I
it's
think
like
I think
that.
it's
It's like the black and white.
yeah, I think it depends though, cause like how should I say this? It's like you notice like shows that are targeted towards like certain genders, like they talk about stories in certain ways. Like if you're talking about like a teen romance story, right? Let's put that as an example, or just a romance story in general, right? Like you could tell like from the show's perspective or how they film it which audience it's targeted towards. Like I'm pretty sure like you can tell like the shows that are from like Hallmark or something like that, they're more targeted towards like women, where it's like it feels as if it's more in tune with like what women expect from a show or romance, like compared to like say like like American Pie, where like it's mainly like male driven.
Oh yeah. There's
It's
categories in
like
anime,
you could feel it
children.
within the filming, and you could feel it within like like even in manga you can feel like
Right.
like with shoujo and shonen and
Of
all
course,
that
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, so I feel as if like with drama, getting back to drama, it's like like when you think about it, women are more mature than men, and the thing of it is that I think for them there's no final battle. It's like you're constantly just fighting for your place until you're just dead. That's basically it. You're just basically standing in your like your status or like where you are in the hierarchy until you die.
It might
there's-
be relative also to like how they this is just what people say, it might not necessarily be true, but I've heard multiple
Yeah.
people saying that like like even in school, like grade school, maybe
Yeah.
even college, but I think by college, it's
Mhm.
not so much anymore because they're more adults now. They
Right.
say that like women, like or like girls, are like
Mhm.
very vicious compared to boys.
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
that,
I agree
I
with
think
that.
that
Yeah.
that's like in the approach where like usually boys are just more straightforward. Like I'm gonna bully this kid because he's ugly or something,
And it's
or like
usually physical,
handsome.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's usually
it's
physical.
usually physical. Yeah.
Like a lot of like the girls like when they talk about like if like a girl's getting bullied or whatever, and
Right.
she's the type that's like vengeful, she actually like has like a strategy. Like she actually
Yeah.
talks out it, and she's like 13 or
Yep.
12, and it's
Oh
like
Yep.
yeah.
that's
Yeah, because like they're because like women are more socially in tuned. So it's
right.
like if I can't destroy the person in front of me, then I will destroy them socially.
It's like
That's why-
strategious.
That's why like for men that basically face like, you know, like I guess the manipulative side of like a woman, right? They will get totally like isolated to the point where they actually are like almost driven to the point where it's like they can't handle it because men are not used to that. They're so used to men just basically punching each other. You know? So it's
Right.
like they will feel more socially isolated. So that's why like women have the advantage when it comes to like kind of like turning a society against like someone else, you know?
Or
Whether-
like it's the odd behavior. Sorry, keep going. Sorry.
no,
I'll
no,
be
no, no,
quick.
no. Like, I was just gonna read what Tons wrote. Yeah, we are we are vindictive. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
That's the-
yeah, there you go.
that's the thing that scares me about women, because like the weird thing is that like I have a thing for bad girls because I like I guess like it's the same thing like where like you know where like men like you know where women they like bad boys because they think, oh, I'm gonna be the thing in his life that changes him, right?
Mhm.
There's like a part of me that has that, but for like women that are baddies.
Also, you want to fix. You're like a fix.
It's not like it's not like I want to it's not like I want to fix them, right? It's like the typical corny romance thing where it's like, oh, I am actually the one man or that one person that shows
That gets
them
a
that
special. He gets a special treatment.
that gets them like to think, oh, maybe I'm a bit of a bitch. Maybe I should change myself a little bit. It's sort
See
of
them-
like it's sort
see
of
them
like
mad.
it's like those like I'm a sucker for the romances where it's like the guy is just straight up like kind and like he basically like contributes everything to like the people around him, and then like a girl that's from a really rough background sees that and she's like, oh my god, there's actually humanity in this guy, you know, like there's actually like real like genuine kindness, you know. I like stories like that because it's like a tough woman basically seeing that, oh, because of this man's like kind nature, he's able to show her the best sides of society, you know what I'm saying? It's like that type of thing. I'm a sucker for that type of story because like whenever I see shoujos, like I like this is not against like, you know, the archetypes, but I get tired of like Korean dramas as well as shoujos where it's like the rich arrogant jerk gets like the main girl.
Yeah.
I get tired of that so much, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, you
It
know,
was like the alpha male, you know.
yeah, and like I think nowadays,
Chad.
right? Like nowadays, I think like guys, right? They feel like they're so underrepresented because it's like, yo, I'm not rich. Like I work like probably an office job or even a part-time job, but I'm still living life like, you know, the way I feel is right. You know, I'm a kind person, you know, like, but you know, but also like this is not a fault against women, but I understand why, because they're looking for more security, and I get it. Like, you know, like they want a man that has like really big ambitions. And you know, like that's not to discount like people that like, you know, for like the guys that are watching, you know, don't feel discouraged. It's just that sometimes like
I'm discouraged out here.
yeah it's like sometimes like men just feel very, very discouraged because it's like, oh, I got a higher pinnacle to get up to because I don't own a house, I still live with my parents, and you know, all the stuff that tells them like, oh, you don't deserve it because you don't have X, Y, or Z, you know. And I'm just basically saying, no, it's not about that. It's like, you know, like I think what women find attractive, and like at least from my experience, is that you are passionate about what you're doing without anyone telling you no. In addition, it's like it's more like, you know, like if you focus on something that you're very passionate about that doesn't involve like romance and stuff, it feels as if you have something that no one can take away, and I think that's what really is important. Do you guys agree, or do you want to
Interesting.
put a take on it?
I don't know what to say because, like, obviously, I don't want to speak for women. So I meant, like, I don't really know.
I mean,
obviously people, different women like different things. Right?
right.
No, I'm not. No, I'm basically saying like for like how men should feel about it. You know.
Oh.
Cause you know, like I'm not gonna speak on women's perhaps because I'm not a woman, so I'm not gonna basically say, oh, women feel this way or that way or something. Like, you know, I think like what women find attractive about men, like based on my experience, right? Like what I'm talking to them, right? It's more like they want to know that the man has their stuff like
their stuff together.
Yeah, like, and you know, I even hate that phrase. Like, what does that mean? Like, nobody knows what that means, and when you actually ask men and women these questions, like what makes a woman or what makes a man or something like that, nobody knows what that means.
Yeah,
And-
it's basically slang for like, what you were saying earlier, like,
Yeah.
oh, like, he's ready to have a family, or it's like, oh, he has like his own house and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
then there's always like, well, for some people, of course, some people are 100% like able to just afford it or do it.
Yeah.
But then it's like there's the other questions nobody asks, like how are they able to afford it? Like did
Yeah.
they afford it through like the like natural means? Like did they work for it?
Yeah.
Or like did they just get it from their parents? Or like is that not even their house? Like is that
Right,
somebody
right,
else's house?
Right.
And like by the way, Nicole's in the chat.
Yeah, I
Just-
saw
oh,
Nicole. I was
where
about to
am
say hi after you finished your point.
Huh?
Hey, Nicole, how's it going? Long time no see. Sounds like Peter would be like City Hunter. I don't know. I'm not as good at looking as like Real from City Hunter.
It's so good. The live action, I saw it like I think a year or two ago. It was so
Uh-huh.
good on Netflix. I was surprised about
Oh,
how
the
good it was.
Japanese live action one?
Yeah, it's so
Every time
good.
when I think of City Hunter live action, I think of the Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah, me too. Like it has that it has like that old school
Like
like
aesthetic.
like old school aesthetic, but like, you know, the cameras I think are like the quality's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
It's just like the vibes, yeah, are very like old school. I mean, you know, given
yeah.
that the show is supposed to take place like in the 80s or 90s or whatever,
Right.
but like even the approach of the movie, like you
Uh-huh.
don't really see those drawn out like martial arts fights these days anymore.
Uh-huh.
Or like the gun fu that was
Yeah.
like being displayed in the show. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you don't really see that anymore. It's kind of just like
Mm.
I don't even know how like action films are really now. It's just kind of I guess straightforward or like absolute dominance like Chad style, or is it like more
Yeah.
supernatural?
I mean,
Supernatural, like,
I mean, it
style.
depends. Yeah, it depends because it depends on what type of show it is. Because if it's straight up comedy, it's like filmed in a certain way. Like, I think I noticed that most comedies they're trying to go for the Office type of style, where it's like it looks like it's kind of like filmed on real time, but it's like they're using the camera to basically tell, oh, this is a person in the office trying to see what the shenanigans of the other cast members are doing. You know, I think that's what's coming along in Western shows about like at least comedy, but when it comes to action shows, they're really like top-notch serious about it. Where it's like they film every shot that's like it's supposed to be either a suspense shot or some sort of shot that basically says, oh, if we don't do this one thing, all hell will break loose.
Right.
So,
Or I think the continuous shot is getting more popular, but I think that was also like a popular thing back then. I'm not sure.
oh yeah, Nicole, I actually saw what you typed. Sounds like Alice. Like, what do you mean sounds like Alice? Like, that's the one thing I'm like wondering. Yeah, so
When we were
right.
talking about
The bad girl.
Boston girls, yeah, the bad girls.
Alice is not a baddie. I don't think she's a baddie.
Don't let Alice hear that. Don't clip it. There's Tan said City Hunter, the one with Jackie Chan. I forgot that existed.
Yeah,
There's
that
a-
exists. That exists. Yeah.
No, I was talking about the newest one.
Yeah,
They
there is
had
a
a
live
live-
action version. Yeah, I think I've seen it.
yeah. There's a newer
Um,
one that was on Netflix recently that I watched.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but the thing of it is that, like, getting back to, like, what we were talking about, right? It's, like, I think, like, everybody has, like, these definitions that they put in their head. Like, so, you know, like, what is masculine, what is feminine, and all that stuff. And, you know, those are just, like, concepts, but they're not really hardcore definitions like you would find, like, in science or mathematics. And, you know, like, a lot of people want to have these hardcore definitions, but
Right.
the truth of the matter is that they're not really hard truths, or like they're not solidified. They're just like observations that we make. And like we as human beings, like the human language, we basically just put a label on them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, see, equally, I guess equally like, defend or devil's advocate is
Yeah.
sort of like, you know, people that actually have like, if it's a person who has their own home, regardless
Yeah.
of how they got it or like whatever, or
Yeah.
like they have their own car, like it's based off the point that you said earlier, where like,
Right.
it's attractive to a girl because if they're looking for security, that's
Yeah.
like sort of an example or like
Yeah.
proof of like a level of security, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, she got that himself, like,
Mhm.
and that's like his, so he was willing to do things to get that thing,
Yeah.
and like that value, like houses and cars are usually are common values that like a lot of women look for, so that's probably why it's like a,
Yeah, and
you know,
also
I,
like
uh,
every person's flawed, right? So like, you know, you don't know if you're dating someone who's very materialistic or that is very insecure about their social status, or you're probably dating someone that doesn't care about that stuff. Like, you know, like there are people like that exist. Like,
right.
you know, like would you like I would find someone who's really into financial like knowledge, like they know how like finances work and know things like about investments, as well as like, you know, how to make their money work for them. I find that attractive, but some men won't find that attractive because it's like, you know, like, yo, she just wants to keep her money hoarded in a safe. When are we gonna use it to do stuff that we have fun with, you know? And that's
Peter's
a valid
new
that's a
girlfriend.
yeah, that's a valid argument, you know.
I just
Peter's
looked
new
up the
girlfriend.
statistic.
What's up?
I just looked up the new statistic, and
Yeah,
I don't know
go on.
if you guys believe it, but 52% of millennials are now homeowners in 2024.
52% of millennials
Of
are
millennials
homeowners.
are homeowners, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me because
Sounds like too much. That sounds like a lot.
it sounds like a lot, but at the same time, like I think I know why they're 52%. If it is accurate, it's because we grew up with like that sense, like, oh, if we own a house, we are proven to be closer to the so-called American dream.
Well, that, but also I assume they are also starting to inherit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a
Uh,
transition. Yeah, there's started in a transition. Yeah.
I was gonna say about that too because it's I think the house market is like not good right now. So
Yeah.
usually if the percentage is that high, you could assume that it's most likely inheritance. I mean, that's not to say like, you know, I'm sure there's millennials that hustle to like to
Yeah.
get it,
Yeah.
but like
And we are
I feel
millennials,
like-
guys, so
It's been rough, man. It's been
Yeah. I mean, if the percentage is that high, definitely. Like, I can't believe that 100% of them like just got that. Like,
yeah, not
now.
to mention, like I think millennials are also like educating themselves on how money works more efficiently now because of YouTube and because of like other resources they can look up. Because like I've noticed that a lot of like people are trying to educate themselves financially through like YouTube and like TikTok and all that stuff. So everyone's
Right.
learning more about financial freedom and how to get there. And the way
It's
they
good and bad.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's fine because it is good and bad because there are some people on social media that basically will say, "Oh, this investment is a good investment because it will keep going up," and then like they get rug pulled. You know, like some people invest and then they get rug pulled, and that's not fair. You know.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have the knowledge or they didn't do the research. Because somebody they thought they could trust told them, hey, this is a good investment, do this. And then they did it. And then suddenly, like, whoops, sorry, you just made my bags bigger. You know, that sort of thing. And that happens all the time.
Like, I
Because-
love watching. Sorry, go on.
No,
I
go
thought-
on, go on.
Okay. Yeah, like I love watching Papa Meat videos.
Uh-huh.
He's like that dude that makes like those crazy cartoons on YouTube, but he also has like his own channel where he reviews stuff. There's one he has a episode where he talks about like essentially like Bitcoin and
Yeah.
stocks and stuff, and
Yeah.
he was talking about that, how like Bitcoin, there was a lot of people that went on Bitcoin knowing that there was like a popularity in it.
Yeah.
There were kids that were willing to like put up their own Bitcoins knowing they didn't have anything to provide,
Yeah.
but like they would put it up just so people, and you know, they would try to sell it, like they
Yeah.
were making like advertisements, or they were getting their friends to like hype it up.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people would like buy their Bitcoin
Yeah.
only for those people to get locked out, and then they're like,
Mm.
oh, I just made like 6 or 12K easy, and then like I'm gonna go and like get this money now.
Oh yeah, because like
Yeah.
the crypto market back then was like, it was like the Wild West, dude. Like, you know, there were times where it's like, where would you get it? Like, where would you get like, you know, a wallet to keep your cryptocurrency safe, you know? In addition to like, there was no such thing as Coinbase back then, like around like 2012, I think. Unless I'm wrong about that. Like, Rainier, you can check me on that fact, because I don't know how long.
Coinbase.
I don't know how long Coinbase has been like available, like since its founding. I didn't know when it was founded.
June 2012.
Oh, June 2012. Oh, okay. So maybe like, you know, some people got it before it was established, you know, that type of stuff, right? But I get what you mean though, because like cryptocurrency is the Wild West, and it was really hard for people to actually keep their cryptocurrency safe, you know, because it is like your own money, but it's like a portable version of it, which kind of makes me more optimistic about the future, since like I think like the current administration is actually making more headway to make, like, I guess cryptocurrency more mainstream. I mean, what do you guys think about it?
I don't know much about crypto, to be honest.
No, that's fine.
Oh yeah, even me, like I still like, as much as like I could read about it or hear about it and stuff, I still personally like I haven't invested anything into it yet.
That's fine. Yeah, don't invest in stuff that you don't fully like know. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, actually, also, this is not investment advice or anything, but, you know, like, you should know what you're investing into. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean,
Like-
currency is something that we agree that has a certain value.
Yeah,
Right, so-
yeah,
Obviously, right now, the early days of crypto,
yeah.
a lot of people, including me, I'm probably skeptical on the value of it.
No, I get what you
Because
mean.
currency is just something that we use to like trade services and goods. Yeah.
Yeah, for, like, services and goods, yeah. I think, like, the thing of it is that, like, people are just mistrustful of the government, like, printing money. So the thing of it is that, like, I even told John this, like, the last time he came to NJ, right? How
Yeah.
money works, right? Like, well, obviously, I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything, but from what I've learned, you can learn this on YouTube or anything. Basically, there's something called, like, debt monetization, and basically the government just basically puts themselves in debt, and they tell the Federal Reserve, well, they basically present that to the Treasury, and the Treasury creates a bond, and that bond goes to the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve prints money based on how much the government needs in order to create that program that they need for that specific bond. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
And then
bonds
they-
are also bought by investors, right?
Yeah, they're also bought by banks and, like, investors, right? So the thing of it is that they basically, like, if anyone knows more about money, you could correct me in the chat if I'm completely wrong, because I know I don't know everything about that. But from what I learned is that basically, like, the Fed just has to keep printing more money the more the government creates, like, programs or, like, you know, creates more debt. So
Well, yeah,
that's-
because we spend more than we
yeah, like, we spend more than we
revenue-
basically save
like
up,
we
you know.
tax. So.
Yeah, because, like, for a country to be in debt and for a person to be in debt are totally two different things. For a country to be in debt, they're basically creating debt in order to create services, programs that people, quote unquote, need. But when a person's in debt, they basically just need to pay certain individuals or companies to basically make sure that they get out of that. So humans get out of debt while governments basically create more of it, just to show that they're being productive
Well,
for their economies.
I guess you can make a kind of similar analogy between the two. You could say something like you have a family and your family is expecting like food on the table, right? So
Yeah.
let's say it's the government providing food stamps, which costs money.
Mhm.
And if you run out of money, obviously you got to get it from somewhere. So you like,
Yeah,
you know, as an individual, you like borrow more money so you can like provide services for whatever your services are towards
Right.
your family.
right. Like I
But,
said,
you know-
like I said, guys, like, you can roast me in the comments if I'm completely wrong on that. But, you know, that's basically what I've learned, and, like, you know, you can throw out all the insults you want. 'Cause it's like, you don't know anything, you know, like, I'll take it with a grain of salt because, well, you know, I will learn if you're basically more informative on what I'm lacking in knowledge. So, but if you're just basically saying I'm dead wrong without a reason, then basically you'll just be one of the comments that I just ignore.
Nice.
If you're watching
Yeah,
this on
yeah.
YouTube, by the way.
Just a slight thing I would say is I think bonds are slightly different from printing money in a sense that like you don't bonds is like something that it's an IOU.
Yeah, it's
Try to
typically
sell
an
to
IOU.
people.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Right. Printing money doesn't need any bonds. You just print money out of nowhere. Like it's just a conscious decision that the Fed will say,
Yeah.
we'll create this many dollars and
Yeah.
put it up in the market or like.
Now, of
lend
course,
it to
like, you know,
banks.
from people's perspectives, they think that the Fed basically controls everything, right? But at the same time, like, the Fed has limits. They basically have a limit of how much they can print. Unless the country's facing,
course.
like, an economic crash. Or,
Well,
like...
print usually raises inflation because
Yeah.
supply
Yeah,
monies.
and they know that, but, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, the Fed has more control because they can control the money. But, like, you know, like, people will say, like, oh, the government is, like, controlling the Fed and all that stuff. And it's a big rabbit hole to go into, and I'm not prepared to go into that rabbit hole. Oh, Big Pup typed us something. Let's see what you typed up, Big Pup. Although you are all millennials, I feel kind of like the only one because of how I was raised. My brother is a millennial, so my parents treat me the same as my brother.
Are you not a millennial? Are you younger or older?
I think Big Pup is
He's
like.
younger.
I think he's younger, yeah.
But you treated
he's-
like a millennial.
He's in his early 20s, I think.
Yeah, and also he
Wow.
redeemed a hydrate and a posture check again. Thanks for checking on us, Big Pup.
Thank you, pup. Hmm.
But yeah,
not-
but yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no! Like, oh yeah, and Big Pup said younger, early 20s. Yeah, John. That's what he
I was
said.
gonna say like we don't have not to change topic, but
Yeah, go on.
since Pup was here, I was gonna ask him like I haven't been checking the updates, but I think the crossplay or the final patch for Baldur's Gate is gonna be finished soon, probably in April or in May. I don't know if Big Pup has a comment on that.
Let's see. Oh, Nicole's back. Hey, Nicole. I know
Hello.
I didn't know if I said hi to you before, because like I think I did try to say hi, but I think there was an ad playing. But how are you doing? What's the best part of your day so far, Nicole?
I also put that webtoon I was talking about before, where it's kind of like childish humor, but
10th
It's like-
Dimension Boys.
yeah, it escalates like crazy. Like it's like a dumb joke. Like
It's probably
I'm
the
gonna-
same as like Prison High School, right? in
It's-
Oh yeah,
absurdity.
Prison High School was so.
It's so
so
absurd.
funny.
It's so absurd,
So
but it's just so freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
oh, okay, I got your Big Pup. Oh wow, they never picked up the release.
Oh,
Um,
nice. You got a bowl, Nicole. Congratulations.
Have you guys ever seen? Damn, we're really about to jump like a million different topics.
No, it's
Uh,
fine. It's a podcast, man. We can talk
Alright,
about
cool.
whatever we want, as long as
Cool,
it doesn't
cool.
get us. As long as it doesn't get us like canceled.
No, I just want people to be aware that we just went from talking about money to talking about the patch from Baldur's Gate 3, and then talking about the Poo Poo Pee Pee webtoon, and then we're about to talk about the anime that reminds me of the Poo Poo Pee Pee webtoon. It's have you guys heard of Daily Lives of High School Boys?
Oh yeah.
Oh
it's,
man,
That's
that
my-
one.
that's my
Yo,
favorite.
bro.
It's hilarious.
It's
That's
my
a
top five.
classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So funny, dude. It's so good. I've seen it, like I finished all of it. I
Yeah.
remember there was a time where I was gonna go to Jersey. Used to have, I think do they still have Anime Next? I forgot if they moved it to
I don't know. I haven't kept up with it.
so Jersey used to have like an anime convention, right? I watched this anime called Daily Lives of High School Boys before I was watching it with friends. And then
Yeah.
before a convention, this is like way early on. I think this is when we first so it's like 2012 maybe. When we were first gonna cosplay as Attack on Titan, when it wasn't that popular yet, like the anime didn't come out yet. So
Uh-huh.
while we were like helping our friends like make the gear and stuff like that, we were
Right.
watching our Daily Lives of High School Boys like while we're crafting.
Uh-huh.
After we got to the end, all of my like everyone that was watching it, almost every episode, people were laughing so hard that they were crying. And then I think somebody almost peed their pants. Like it was just, it's just so
man.
funny, dude. It was just so
It's
good because
good.
it takes so many tropes. Like
Yeah.
it's good for people that just start out watching anime, but it's perfect for people that have seen so much anime because like
Yep.
it
Right.
just makes fun of all the tropes and it's just
Archetypes, yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
I love that
I
anime.
agree. I agree. I mean, like, actually, like, that's a pretty good question. Like, if you were to get someone started on anime, right? Which anime would you probably first introduce them to?
Ooh, I would first question what genre would they think they would like.
Pick
And
any
it would go from
any genre. Like,
So tempted to say Boku, but it's
Ooh.
not the right answer.
Boku.
The most Reddit answer. No,
exactly.
Yeah, what genre or like any genre?
it could be any genre. It could be any genre.
Oh, that's hard.
Pop says Sailor Moon.
Well, it depends. So I guess if it's a guy, then yeah, the high school boys thingy. Although, ooh, actually, never mind. No, because I don't know if that's gonna be a good.
See, it's pretty
anime.
hard because you
No,
know
because
that.
you gotta lead. They have to be already watching anime to like really have fun with.
Yeah, so it's really
High school
hard to
boys.
think about like which anime would be really good choices.
I would say something like Darker Than Black. That's honestly one of my favorites. It's kind of more like on the action side.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, that's a pretty good.
Yeah.
John.
It's hard because like I'm envisioning like you sort of have this power where if it's any genre, you have the power to introduce them to anime. So it's like, do I give them
Yeah.
like one of the most anime things? Like a lot of us, I
Uh-huh.
think, started with Dragon Ball, right?
Yep.
And I think a lot of people could say that's like a good definition of like quote unquote anime, where like
right.
you have humans, but then they could like shoot powers from their hand, and then
Right.
there's like aliens that come and you're trying to stop them. Like like anything on Adult Swim, honestly, I think is like great for people to get into anime.
Detective Conan, you think?
I
Probably
think
for the smarter.
yeah, like
like-
that would probably be something like for that would probably be for someone that loves mysteries, like if they love to read mysteries, like by Agatha
Yeah.
Christie. Like actually, like for Detective Conan, anyone that's like into like whodunit mysteries would love Detective Conan.
Yeah.
But if they're not into that genre, it probably wouldn't be good to show Detective Conan to them.
Right.
Or
Yeah, that's
Samurai X too. Like if it was somebody that was like into Japanese culture but they've never watched anime, I'd probably introduce them to probably like Samurai X or not Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, I think it
Rurouni
depends on
Kenshin.
the person.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a person
Yeah.
that's very edgy, like someone that like loves like like basically like dancing, rap, and all that stuff, like or like tattooing and stuff. I think like Samurai Champloo is a good one to show those type of people.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good.
I think it depends on the
Um,
person you're showing it to, because for me, I think I would pick
Definitely.
like if the person really wants a good story, I would show them Death Note.
Okay. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, Death Note.
Yeah, Pup also said Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, or maybe Initial D. I think
Yeah.
Pokemon is probably the answer I'll probably go with because
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, it's the most popular one. Yeah.
Classic.
and there's nothing like too dangerous. Like it's got that perfect like Y7 where it's
Uh-huh.
like it's safe, but it's like there is still some fighting and like the violence isn't crazy.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I think it's perfect. Pokemon's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I
I think
agree.
Pokemon is like the safe choice, because like it's a. But the thing of it is that, if it's a kid or a teenager, yeah, they would probably get into it. But if it's an adult, they'd be like, oh, I know about this Pokemon stuff. Like
Digimon.
Yeah.
Digimon for the adults.
Digimon, right? Like if you show them Digimon, it's a
no.
totally different animal. It's like that's the same as Pokemon, isn't it? It's like, oh no, it's in another emotional level. Because
You have you have this. I forgot what the pre-evolution. Oh, you have this cat that wears a glove. and then it evolves
Gatomon?
into like yeah, and then it evolves into a half-naked lady. It's just like nice. That's it. That's just
Yeah. Oh, Nicole, you said City Hunter, the Korean live action. Oh yeah, I love that one. Actually, that's one of my favorite Korean dramas. Actually, City Hunter, like the Korean version. Yeah, that one was
Oh,
actually
yeah,
a pretty
there
good
you go.
story. That was a pretty
Yeah.
good one. Like, and it had nothing to do with the original City Hunter at all.
oh Beyblade too.
Oh
Big
yeah,
Pup,
Beyblade. Yeah,
as
Beyblade.
well.
Yeah. What was that other one? Because like I mean like since we're on old school anime, right? what was that one about the samurai? It was like on a kids show. I mean, it was on a kids network.
Ronin Warriors. Is that what you're talking about?
Not Ronin Warriors. It was another one. It was like at the same era with Zatch Bell.
Zatch Bell. Wow.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was about a young kid that basically has the spirit of a samurai inside
Shaman King.
Yes, Shaman King. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in so long, and I was like, dang, why do I remember this in my head?
They made a sequel like recently. I think it came out like last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, it was on Netflix.
Sorry,
wow.
Be right back. I gotta go to bed.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Continue,
Take your time.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a reboot.
It might be a reboot. Yeah.
It was a reboot. Yeah. They
rebooted Rurouni Kenshin. Like they're rebooting a lot of old shows. They brought back Bleach. Man, there's like so many. Who cares about accuracy? I had to go. I had to go Hara from Kara. That's fine. That's fine. Well, that's fine. I'm not complaining about that. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was like one of my favorites actually. Growing up, like I think it's because like it was just like it was typical shonen, but it was with strategy. That's why like for me, I can't get into like shonen that was all about beat 'em ups anymore. That's why I couldn't get into like things like Hero Academia.
I remember like I think our tastes like evolved as we got older, but
yeah,
there's always like those certain animes. When Rain comes back, I guess that'll be like our listings.
Yeah.
But like there are those animes that will forever be in like your top 5 or 10.
Yeah. Like for me, I'd rather watch Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, me too. I love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z is also cool, and like I get flashbacks of like all the friends I watched it with, but Dragon Ball, the storyline is like my favorite because
it felt more carefree to me. So it felt like I can just like relax and just chill and watch it. Dragon Ball Z, it just felt like it was just too much. It was just like too many episodes for one fight. And like it was just like too much like power. It's like, oh, he's got this power up. Like, and this power up will give him this power up, and you know all that stuff. And I just kind of got tired of it. And it was just like constantly just like, it's just basically just like people just fighting each other. And I just couldn't. I just kind of got bored with it.
Right. Goku is also supposed to be the he's not human, but he's like the, I guess, humanoid or Saiyan insert.
He's the overpowered protagonist.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Wukong essentially. That's why his name is like Goku, right? But like they made him Goku, and he's like more human. He's a Saiyan, but like he's supposed to be like more of like a human type.
Right.
Like, it's just like, what would Wukong do if he didn't have like demonic powers and was just like a power, like a little bit above normal human strength type of character? Right. And then going on like adventures. Like Dragon Ball was like the perfect depiction of like an actual adventure. Like DBZ almost like it truly feels like a sequel if you really think about it, because the fighters are defending. Like a lot of like all the arcs are just them defending Earth or like defending somewhere.
Yeah.
While like Dragon Ball is them trying to find all of the Dragon Balls, and then like they're going to different locations, and then you see like the surrounding environments. They meet like tons of different characters. They like, there's no like, or certain characters have like ki related attacks, but like ki is like a relative idea that no one really knows about in the show yet. Like it's very like, it's very like baby level.
Yeah.
Like ki stuff. But then, by the end of the show, you see like people like I forget if I was about to say Kevin. I forget if Goku learns Kaioken at the end of the original Dragon Ball, or if he's just starting to find that balance of like ki and like his own like strength, and then just like working it out. Like I remember he was fighting King Piccolo, where like Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z is not the same as the Piccolo from Dragon Ball, which is like this evil tyrant alien dude.
Yeah, Big Pup basically says Kaioken is Z.
Gotcha.
Z. Yeah, so it's probably Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, like I think with Dragon Ball, what I loved about Dragon Ball is that it felt like more like an adventure. Like even though they like the space, like I have no problem with the space traveling or like aliens and stuff in Dragon Ball Z, the one issue I had with Dragon Ball Z is that I felt like it was a show, like, and I understand why they did it this way. It felt like it was just too serious for its own good, and it felt like it was just more testosterone than it needed to be.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, and I think that's why I didn't fully enjoy it as much. I only watched it because my friends were watching it in high school, and they loved it, and I was like, it's okay, but I didn't say that out loud because it was elementary school, and I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be like, you know, like talked down upon because it's like, yo, what are you talking about? This is the epic stuff, you know,
Right.
that type of stuff. But like I enjoyed things like Cardcaptor Sakura more, like because it was about magic and it was about like basically like I think the shows that I were really into was like mostly like shows that made you feel like the world was more than it appeared to be. And I think that's why I love shows that revolved around magic or made like science in a more magical sense, like it's a mysterious thing that allows us to explain like the unknowing stuff about the universe that we're in, you know?
Yeah. Just so it's not missed, Big Pup was talking about Super, was asking about Super, Dragon Ball Super.
Uh-huh.
Do you have an opinion of it? Or
No, I haven't watched it because like for me, like anything from the Dragon Ball Z franchise, like the only thing like Dragon Ball I keep coming back to sometimes because I guess it's just my kind of guilty pleasure of the Dragon Ball Z universe, but Dragon Ball Super, I just feel like I can't enjoy it because I guess I just don't really like Dragon Ball Z that much. Because yeah, go on.
No, go ahead. What were you
No,
finish?
I was gonna say like I think Dragon Ball Super is more towards the Dragon Ball Z fans, not the Dragon Ball fans in my opinion. I mean that's how it feels like to me. That's why I don't watch it. It's the same reason why I don't watch the new Bleach, because like I just can't see myself going back into it.
No, that's a sin. You have to watch it. No, I'm just kidding.
Because
We'll talk about
I
that.
tried 3 times to watch One Piece, and I was like, no, I can't get into this show. I can't.
It's honestly like any of the big three. I always felt like. I mean, there's always fans. I guess I'm talking about myself because I did that. But like, I guess there's always fans that can get into any like all of the big three. But
They
like,
made Goku dumb and super.
yeah, like okay, so like when it comes to Super, I think it was. I like that. I like most of the animation. I know there's that terrible. There's an episode where it's like complete crap.
Yeah.
But like was that the Battle of the Worlds or the Battle of the Universes or whatever? I think was like a really cool. It's a cool tournament arc. Did
Right.
I watch most of it? No. Like
Uh-huh.
I literally watched like the almost like the end of every fight or like the sum up of a lot of the fights, like the highlights essentially.
Right.
But I think Super is more focused on like the attainment. It's like so if Dragon Ball is about the adventure, Z is about like defending Earth or like everything that they've gained. Super is technically still about defending, but it's like they're trying to reach newer, higher level power levels because now they know that they're like Z is almost like they feel like they're the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
But in Super introduces that they're not, and then there's definitely other like universes that are as powerful or
They
even more
fight
powerful
Anubis,
than them.
right?
Yeah, it's the god of battle basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And-
like, yeah, go on.
There's like a bunch of other gods, and then they introduce like angels and stuff. I didn't
Right.
like look into it too much, but I know that angels are actually. I don't know if it's just angels or if it's the one that works under Barris. Barris is the god of
Uh-huh.
battle, the
Uh-huh.
cat.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's Barris specifically, but like angels are almost untouchable. Like for you to fight an angel and
Yeah.
then touch one like
Yeah.
during a fight is like like it's like one of the highest achievements or whatever in like the battle universe. So it's like they introduce angels. There's different like species that weren't like talked about before. Goku's rival in the tournament is some dude that doesn't even have Super Saiyan, but like
Yeah.
he can keep growing in battle strength or something. He has like I
Uh-huh.
guess it's the equivalent of Super Saiyan or something.
I get you.
So yeah, there's a bunch of like stuff like that. So it's like it's definitely like over the top testosterone fight battling stuff, but
yeah.
yeah, for whatever I think like I just got tired of that formula.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but I don't really watch Super either.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? before that? What were we talking about after Super?
I think we were talking about like old school anime, like basically like how it's different. Because actually, I think we can go into that conversation actually, because we were talking about that yesterday.
Okay.
Because like there is a change. Like I guess like since me and John and as well as Rainier, we grew up watching anime from like I guess the later 1990s to like the early 2000s to like currently. It feels as if like there's like a big shift on like how anime is presented. Because like hey, welcome back, Rainier.
Welcome.
Yeah, you came back at the right time because we were gonna start talking about I guess the shift that we noticed in old school anime to like modern day anime. Because like I don't know if like in chat like you could probably like answer this if you want to if you noticed it, but I noticed that a lot of anime characters, they're trying to be more like I guess real people proportioned. Because like I noticed like there's like not many animes like Canon anymore or Clannad, like you know like that particular style.
Right.
It's definitely an art style of the decade, right?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
If you look at the 90s or the 80s, they definitely had.
It had a lot of
different art.
Yeah, it had a lot more moe to like its like art style. I noticed.
Oh yeah.
Because like the eyes were actually a lot bigger and more like it actually caught your attention more.
Well, yeah, the pre-isekai days, they definitely had a different formula of how
Yeah.
design.
Or how like the like shoujo shonen and like anything that was more comedic, they were very like expressive about like their actions. Like they do like the like the girls always do like they do like extra like sounds over their like emotions.
Oh my god, Kanon, there was so many. Like I remember I YouTube it, and there was so like all the characters had their own type of sound. Like I think like Ayu basically like she would like ugu. She would say ugu a lot, and I'm like, what the freak? Even the fan subs would basically put the noise in. And I was like, why they keep putting ugu in the subs? It was just so funny.
I remember there was we had this friend, it was Carlos' friend, and then I guess I got introduced to their group of friends. This guy Rich would spam ugu so much that it became like something that we would all say. It became like an inner joke, and then we just spammed it on everybody, and then people were just like, what the fuck are these kids doing?
Yeah, and I remember I remember the Fox, I remember
sorry.
the Fox girl. Like she would basically go like how I'm like what the freak. Like each girl had like a specific like sound they would make, and I think it would probably be like a Japanese onomatopoeia, but it was just like said like in a way that a human would say it, so it's like really hilarious to me. But I think like most people when they see that, if you introduce people that don't watch anime for the first time, they would either find it very adorable or they would find it extremely annoying.
Cringe. Yeah, extremely like cringe or something.
Yeah, because like our best friend Kev, like me and John's best friend Kev, he really hates like the high pitch like the girls with the high pitched voices.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really hates those type of characters. But like you know like in Japan like mostly like anime, like I think now they kind of toned down like those type of voices. But like back then, like when we were growing up, there was like a large majority of like seiyus that actually did that high pitched stereotypical anime voice.
Yeah, I think it's because it was also like I feel like half the popularity is the difficulty behind it too.
Yeah.
I think like because it's like if you I can't technically check, but it's like if you look at the rankings for some of like the anime like overseas we might not find it like as good, but then when you look in Japan it's like number one, it's like in the top 5 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And like half of it I think is because of like the voice acting like quality also.
It was kind of funny because like back then, right? Like I told you guys last night, like not Chad, but like basically John and Rainier last night. I basically told them like when anime was on VHS, right? It wasn't easy to find because you would have to go to a Blockbuster or some like store that was like into indie stuff, and you would have to look in the back section to find anime and stuff. It felt like it felt like it was like a deal, like you're dealing something. It's like yo, do you got the anime in the back? It's like in the back, in the corner, right there.
When Blockbuster started getting more anime, I was like I think I was in shock. Like, yeah, I guess over the years too, like anime like got a boom. I don't know when it really boomed. I don't know if it was in 2020 or if it was like
From
18 or
way
something.
I interpret
Well, when was Madoka? Because Madoka was a big boom too, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
that
Like
came out
Sword
late.
Art Online
I-
was a big boom.
I think it's when like AOT. Was
I
it like
think
when
Attack on
AOT got
Titan,
really
yeah.
popular?
I
Yeah.
think anime really boomed when it actually came on Cartoon Network.
Oh, true.
That's what I feel
mean-
like, because they were actually
Like Dragon Ball Z.
yeah, because the way I feel is that when anime actually made it to Cartoon Network and they were actually using the word anime, I think that's when it was actually starting to boom, because then people like in the entertainment industry, like I actually watched like a small interview that like I think an anime producer was like interviewing like an old pioneer of like the business side of anime. And basically, according to this pioneer, when anime became mainstream, like on television, they realized how much VHS sales they can make. And then they would go to the anime conventions and they would see, like, what type of people do we see for our customer base? And they would see that it was a lot of nerds and a lot of people that were just, like, really high up on, like, you know, like, basically just into, like, books or, like, something that was, like, more
NFT.
fantastical. Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. Like someone who was the head of their chess club, or someone who was the head of like the science and maths club and stuff.
This is a strange pattern I've always seen. I've also seen, and technically like, you know, there's probably like you know, the percentage, like I guess it depends on the definition of rich. But
Yeah.
I've noticed, like, I know someone that's like, he's basically like a millionaire or billionaire, and he's like younger than me.
Yeah.
But he's like really into anime and, you know, video games and all that. And he
Yeah.
has like other friends that are like really rich too, right? And they're also into anime and video games. And and like when you go to these conventions too,
Yeah.
you see people buying figurines that are like over thousands of dollars and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, but you'll also see them buy like the food there, which is like expensive. Like it's
Yeah.
like 5 times more expensive than like outside. So like I've noticed this pattern where there's like actually like rich people that are really into like nerdy shit, like anime and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you know, it's probably because they're, you know, I'm sure some of them their backgrounds were like nerdy or whatever. But
Yeah.
there's a pattern to it where like there's a lot of like rich people that actually really love like going to these conventions
Oh,
and
yeah.
like really love like anime and video games and stuff.
Yeah, because like the thing of it is that how do rich people get rich? They read more about money, so they read a lot of books. Like I bet you, like if there's a statistic on it, like you would probably see like a majority of rich people love to read.
Hmm.
Like it
I
doesn't
think
have to
it's-
be about money. It could also be things like science or something like, or even like things like about art or like history.
I think it also ties in with probably like when you have that much money,
Yeah.
you're always like trying to find like the next thing to take, like, you know, to basically like, I guess, fill whatever
yeah.
you feel like is missing. So it's like, because there's certain things, right, that you could get into, but then like if you have enough money, you could sort of like essentially overlord the hobby to the point where like you don't really feel anything for it anymore because you've already
Yeah.
like reached a certain point.
Yeah.
But then there are like the fantastical hobbies where like you could get certain things specific to like the subjects or like the subcultures
Mhm.
within that community.
Mhm.
But like there's technically an infinite amount, or there's like so much. So I think it's like because there's so many things that they could get involved into with like
Uh-huh.
those types of things. I think that's why a lot of them stay there because it's
right.
like there's so many choices. Like you just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, like, this is why, like, art. This is why some rich people buy art, because, like, they just love the subject of art, because it's like, it's so expressive and it allows them
No,
to
I
think
think, like,
deeply.
in general, right? Like, obviously, if you're not rich, you're thinking about survival. But after
Oh,
you're
yeah, of
done with, you know, once you're secure and you're not thinking about survival, you know, what is it to be a human, right?
Yeah, it's like, what is more to my life?
It's not. It's not like, because if you're not having to constantly grind to put food on the table or buy a shelter and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
then the next thing is the arts, really, right? Like
Yeah.
culture and
That's true.
Yeah, or
and-
science. Yeah, because like some people that are rich, they're like, oh, I'm rich, I'll build a little lab for myself in their house.
Yeah.
like
a shrine.
like a shrine.
Like
I'll build a shrine.
man,
I'll build a shrine in my backyard, and I'll make my garage or my basement like my laboratory.
A shrine for your waifu.
A shrine for your wife. Yeah, there's probably some people that are like that. Like you're just like,
yeah, there's that one guy that like have you seen that guy that makes like the cardboard challenges?
no.
There's like a YouTuber who like people are wondering if he's a millionaire or he's rich or whatever because his videos are all like him. He has like cardboard waifus that are like 20 feet tall or whatever, and then he has like a mansion where he displays these like cardboard like girls.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole like all the walls and like every square like foot is covered in the cardboard
I
and
have
stuff.
seen that. Isn't it like a VTuber cardboards, if I recall?
Yeah, that's one of them. Like he has
Damn.
multiple challenges where
Wow.
he does them. One of them was one of the characters from what was that it's like that detective VN Danganronpa. One of the girls there,
Oh.
that's like his waifu, and he filled his whole like mansion or like his house or that building with all of these cardboard versions of the girl, like all over
Dang.
the place, and he covered his walls and stuff. And I was like, this is crazy.
Nice. I mean, like, how would you guys feel if you went to a house and their house was like decorated in a lot of weeb stuff?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, props.
Nice.
I'm already have a lot of respect for the people who drive with those their cars painted.
Oh,
with
the car
full-on
wraps, yeah,
anime.
like-
Shout out to Kevin. Shout out
Yeah.
to Kevin.
Yeah, that's like our
Fucking
best
massive
friend.
respect.
Yeah, our best friend has that. Like, yeah, he has like. I mean, before he had his car wrap, but unfortunately something happened to his car, so he had to take the wrap off. So like, hopefully, one day he hopes to actually get another wrap and put on the car.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
like,
they're like unique, you know. Like oftentimes houses are boring.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
like,
There was a house I had, one of my former supervisor like a decade ago. She used to own a puzzle store, and I guess she is into like jigsaw puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
She has like her whole staircase leading up to the second floor, like
Yeah.
covered left and right with big jigsaw puzzles. It was-
Oh
That's
wow.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
unique.
cool.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
unique. Yeah, I think like the typical like house, right? Like a lot of people which think is quote unquote normal, which in actuality I don't think it's normal at all. It's like so bland and so boring, and then people like walk into it, it's like, yo, how nice is my house? And I'll be like, it's nice. I mean, it lacks color, but it's nice. It's
yeah,
like,
no, I definitely prefer people who are a little bit more, I guess, the word
expressive
would be
in
like
their homekeeping.
eccentric or something like that.
Yeah,
where they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
Like the opposite of conforming, right? Instead of you're
Yeah.
conforming to a norm, you are expressing your.
Yeah, because I think like the term
Right.
normie has been abused so much. Like people are like, "Oh, you're a normie because you live in a plain house and it's boring," or something like that. Or like, you know, like I'm guilty of this too. Like basically thinking that people that don't that go against conformity, like basically they're just a normie, and they just want to act like they're like everyone else when in actuality they're not. You know, that sort of thing. Like,
Right.
I feel as if like sometimes we like give like people that just live like I guess like quote unquote normal lives a lot of shtick, because it's like you have to be more unique, you have to be like this, like
Well, I mean, obviously, even I would be guilty of that myself, where it's like, I definitely look normal, right? But
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of sub hobbies. I just don't
yeah,
express it.
like my overall
That's why.
point. Yeah,
That's why, in turn, I respect people who do express themselves because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
something they're braver than me, right?
yeah. And like like it depends on culture too, because like if it was like a country like like Asia, for example, if you express yourself too much, then you're more likely to like be ignored or be ostracized, which is like not very great. So like my point is that like we don't really have a clear definition of what normal is. So like as long as you're not like infringing on other people's like boundaries, and you're just like you're a kind human being that treats others with respect, you're just as normal as everyone else.
Yeah, I think like the term or the equivalence of normality, or like what's considered normal is really just like whatever the like what's that group, like the essentially like your the social bubble or like the area you're in,
Yeah.
like like whatever is considered like the constant like repeated like hobby or task or like thing you have, right? Like everybody here owns cars, so like cars is like a normie thing technically. In
Yeah.
Japan, it might not be so normie because like
Yeah, it's a luxury there.
You can walk and like use a like yeah. New York maybe even. I know like people flex cars in New York, but I think a lot of New Yorkers actually don't like drive. They like
Nah, like in New York, yeah, like you could practically walk everywhere. You just need a subway pass.
right.
Or just take the bus too, like, you know, like, and the thing of it is that if New York didn't have like, like bad like rat problem as well as like cockroaches and stuff, like I think a lot of people like would feel more comfortable living there. I mean, not that it's not comfortable to live in New York, don't get me wrong. It's just
so
that
expensive.
it's so
Yeah,
expensive, and not only that,
expensive.
the rat problem makes me a little bit paranoid. So that's why for me, I just feel like I don't see myself living in New York City. It would be a nice place to live, but I would have to have a lot of money to live there to live comfortably, in my personal opinion. Because I would be worried about a rat crawling up, like, you know, like my kitchen sink or something like that. Not to insult any New Yorkers, by the way. Like, you know, like I have some friends that live in New York, but at the same time, like, you guys are tougher than I am, so, you know.
Yo,
I give
the
you
Rat
credit for that.
King, Paul. You
Say
guys
what?
don't insult the Rat King.
Yo, like, oh no, I was thinking of the Sewer King from Hey Arnold. Like, you remember that episode from Hey Arnold, the Sewer King?
Oh,
Or,
I was
like-
thinking about the cockroach guy from Powerpuff, but I thought they were rats. Like,
Oh
in my-
man, yo, like whenever we see characters like that, we think of New York City for some reason.
I mean, to be fair, the characters were portrayed from New York City. Well, I guess the animations version of New York City.
Yeah,
So.
I remember like the Sewer King, like when Arnold and Gerald opened like the door to the pipe, and like it was like, no, the light, I can't stand the light. I was like, damn. And it clearly sucks because there are people that kind of live in those type of areas. It's just like so crazy.
Oh yeah, there's a whole documentary on that too.
Yeah,
I already
like they
forgot
make their
the
own
title.
little society and stuff.
Yeah, I know for a fact that like there was like a documentary where it was about like hobos. Like there were hobos living in a community in abandoned subways
Yeah.
a while back, and then after that documentary, they were like kicked out.
Oh,
Like a lot of them were
damn.
hunted down and got kicked out.
Damn, that sucks.
But it was crazy because like when you watch the documentary, there's barely any light down there,
Yeah.
and they're like talking to each other like Animal Crossing neighbors. Like they have like little huts and stuff,
Yeah.
and like fake fences, and I'm just like, this is great. Like they have like their own community and stuff. It's
It's
really
like their own little
um,
village. Yeah.
Yeah, and they like adapted to like the light and the dark in it. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, man, that's so like, it's like it's sad, but it also shows like how humans can just adapt to like
Mhm.
the environment that they're in sometimes when they're
Right.
like they have enough will to live and they just like adapt. It's so crazy.
Right. Yeah. I mean that. Yeah, that is crazy. Not to mention, like, it's kind of funny that people that like are homeless, like, they try to form their own small communities and they end up making like a small little village, like, and you know sometimes like when I look at the inner cities and like you know us as society, like we kind of lost that, like, I guess that community, you know, where it's like everyone looks out for each other and everyone like
Yeah.
takes care of one another. And I get it because it's so big, like, you know, like even living in a suburb, it feels like it's just too big, and like you feel like you don't even know your neighbors anymore because we're just connected through computers and stuff.
I think half of it too is just like you know, it's like the yin and the yang, like with all of the information computers that we got, because we're also living in like a information like era.
Right.
There's a lot of like, you know, people get paranoid. There's a lot of like pre like what's that called? Pre-wishing, like I would expect this of my neighbor or something when like
Oh,
I have no
expectations.
idea. Yeah, expectations. Like there's already like pre-expectations and stuff of like
Yeah.
how people should behave, and it's just like I
Yeah.
don't even know this person, but then
Yeah.
like I expect them to behave this way or something.
Yeah, I think it's basically like people are trying to change people a lot. It's like, oh, if this person wasn't this way, then society would run much smoother. Or if these people didn't do this thing, then you know we would all get along. But anyone can simplify a problem and try to think of their own solution for it. but then when you actually get down to the actual problem itself, you realize it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah, it's always when dealing with humans, regardless of how simple it is, there's always something complicated related to it. Anything like that's simple to solve between like two humans is just one of them like not talking about the complicated stuff.
Yeah, because I remember Rainier, you asked me one time. It's like, what would happen if like your friend was gonna do something that was dangerous for them, but you like someone asked you to convince them about like to stop them from doing that, right?
Sure.
And I basically told you that I don't really like giving advice because that means that I would have to tell them something that I would probably do, but at the same time, like, I don't even know what I would do in their shoes because I'm not experiencing it. So for me, it's like I could tell them their options, but that's not going to be as big as help as basically telling them to stop doing whatever it is they're doing. You know, like if they were going to do things like invest a lot of money in this one thing that they think is going to make a lot of money, you know, it's dangerous. But at the same time, it's not me that's going to convince them to stop doing that. It's them. They have to convince themselves that.
Yeah, I guess it's like something that will actively cause them harm.
Yeah.
And I guess the assumption would be like the person is trying to get you to help the friend already tried helping them.
Right.
So it's like, oh, see if you could convince them.
Yeah.
They're about to harm themselves in whatever way, you know.
Yeah, like for me, like when I actually let go of actually thinking that, oh, I let go of the thing that where it's like, I can, if only this person changed, then my life would be better, or if this person changed their behavior like this, I've kind of stopped doing that, like in my head. And once I let that go, I realized that I was a lot happier, because it's like, I'm not trying to force the other person to change, because if I force a person to change, then that means I'm going to force all the good people that I have in my life to change too. And so, like, you know, I don't want John to change. I don't want you to change, Rainier, because you guys like are like Rainier. You're very informative, and you're also very good conversationalist, at least for me. And like for Johnny Boy, he's just so hilarious that I can't stop laughing.
So I'm just a clown to you. I wish I had like the Hong Kong thing. That was
yeah, but you're also a great conversationalist too. You're also like great at talking deep stuff. So you know when to be serious. It's just that sometimes I think like for our friend group, like we're so used to being the clown, but when I talk to you like on a one-on-one, you could go in deep and stuff, and that's why you're on the podcast with us.
Thanks, guys. You know. Yeah, it was a great. We've had some great conversations today. That was good.
Yeah.
Ronster's like, yes, yes, John. That's what Peter said. Dang it, Ronster.
Although I guess to think about it, I suppose you do. Then I can say that you have a preference for the status quo. I'd say, because it's not you have like an aversion to risk change in general. You know, maybe either you're afraid that it's going to be a change for the worse, or you just don't want to risk like a change for the better. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about people in general, or like?
Yeah, like people, other people in general. Like if you were to give people advice or.
Right. Yeah, because like I think for me, it's like when I tell someone that they have to change their behavior, that's not the right way to approach the conversation. And when they feel like they have to change their behavior, that means that they feel as if they have to do this arduous task to basically change like a behavior they've probably been fighting for a while, you know?
If you are, say, it's just hypothetical, if you are forced to say, try to change that person's behavior, how would you even approach it? So, I understand you wouldn't approach it directly. Like, how would you even begin to like try to accomplish that?
Honestly, the thing of it is that like I wouldn't really say specifically to change their behavior. I would just pose questions like, how is that working out for you? Like doing that, because I think most therapists do that. It's like,
so you do more like a questionnaire.
Yeah, they make it question, because the thing of it is that when you ask things in questions, it makes the person think about why they're doing it for that specific reason. And when they don't come up with an answer, that gives them more time to think about exactly why is it that they're yelling at their spouse whenever like they come home from work, or why is it that they constantly go for a drink whenever they know it's not good for them. Like, what is it about that gives them that compulsion? you know?
Right.
So for me, I think it's like good just to ask these questions, like, you know, how is that working out for you whenever you drink after work, you know? Or how does that work out for you when you start like not ignoring like your spouse, you know? Those type of things. And I think that's like the only way I could go about it without making it seem like I'm preaching to people. But even asking the question itself is like, yo, what are you trying to say? It's like that type of response. So I guess for me, it's like, you know, there's a way to tell people, but I know I don't have all the answers. Even if I observe someone and they're doing something that I think is wrong, that doesn't mean that they're going to totally change it because I think it's wrong. Or even if I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's about like 10 o'clock, and I mean, Rainier, do you have to jet as well?
No, I don't have any like plans at all tonight, so
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily have to jet.
Oh, okay. So shall we continue on for another hour?
Let me see. Let me make sure. Give me a
I mean, we can go only for like a half an hour or something if you're short on time.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
You're fine? Okay.
Yeah, we could go for another hour if you want.
Alright,
At
yeah.
some point, we should try to, at some point we could try to give our anime recommendations, but it's like not necessarily our favorites. It's like what we would recommend to people. Because I remember,
Oh yeah.
I have a list I want to recommend to people, but they're not like my favorite.
Oh. Okay, then since you brought up the subject, John, you could be the first to start then.
Well, it's
I'm still making my list.
it's like I would not necessarily recommend animes that I super like, you know,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true, yeah.
because I
It's
have
just-
like a specific taste.
Uh-huh.
Cause I remember I was like saying to myself like in the past, I think
Right.
it was like probably like around 2015s ish or like 2010s ish. I had this list I wanted to send to people, but it's like not the list that I would make everybody like. It's not the list I would give to like people that are new to anime, but I just
Right.
want to recommend it to people because of it's like a good mix of like shock value, but also like the stories are like decent, like they're pretty good.
What is it, like Higurashi?
I have to look it back up. No, it's there's one where I have to look for this title again, but one of the recommendations is like it's a bunch of kids raised in a society where I think they were trained to have like psychic powers or something.
Uh-huh.
And then like at a young age, you know, that's like the way they're taught, and then they have like this weird ecosystem going on around them, so they're taught about that too. And then I think there's a time skip, and it's really weird because like there's an episode where it shows that like there might be like some, you know, some kids might be interested in the same gender,
Yeah.
but then later on you find out it's like a trick,
Uh-huh.
and it was a trick to like trick the teachers so that they could escape their village or something.
Okay.
And then when they're on the outside, because like the city is so obsessed with keeping them in the city and telling them not to go outside, so the whole anime is sort of focused on like what happens when they get outside the village. And it's such a weird ecosystem. There's yeah.
My ex likes that one. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She actually bought me the
Is there a VN?
DVD.
I think there
It's
is.
not a VN.
Oh, okay.
wait,
Okay.
it's a novel. It's a novel, not a light novel. It's a novel.
Oh.
She got me the novel and the DVD.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
that was
That's
I really
sick, to be honest. That's like a very deep anime, but it's
yeah,
like,
because it's the ending part and the philosophy behind it. I was like, how did this show start from kids with psychic powers to like a philosophy about war? I was like, what the fuck?
It's
so
usually the good anime that basically makes you like feel like it's something, but then it evolves into something else because of its storyline.
But
Right.
you know, that's one kind of anime that I wouldn't necessarily recommend right away. Though it's probably for
What's the
someone
title
that's
of that anime?
already-
I gotta look it up. I'm looking it up.
I'll let him look it up.
Nicole
I know
basically
it.
said, speaking of billionaires, I saw a Tesla with an interesting sticker. Oh, what type of sticker, Nicole?
Was it what's her name? What's Kevin's favorite character?
Hutao?
Was it Huta?
Huta from Genshin.
From Genshin,
Yeah.
yeah, from Genshin, yeah.
Oh.
That's what's on That was on Kevin's car before.
A man of culture.
Yeah, he's a man of culture, definitely. But yeah, like I think like with anime, like if I were introducing someone who is like totally vanilla on anime, I would probably introduce them to like the ones that were like classic but feel like they're like American animated shows. Like I would introduce them to like Cowboy Bebop. That's
Yeah.
one.
It's essentially
Along with the Big O, I would also introduce them to that. And
The
Death
big
Note, of
O,
course.
really?
Yeah,
Big
the
O is
big-
kind of mecha, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is, but it feels like Batman. That's
And
why.
it's
But-
very like romanticized in my opinion, like a romanticized Batman.
Yeah.
Because the enemies like sometimes speak in poetry. Like when you hear them talk,
Yeah.
it's a lot of it is like
It's very
sometimes it-
cinematic, yeah.
Yeah, it's very like it feels like an opera. Like you know how
Oh,
they say
yeah.
Gundam's like a space opera? This feels like it's a literal opera because
Oh,
of like
yeah.
the lines you say and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree. Nicole says, no, I love my Tesla, but fucking Elon Musk, oh my gosh. Interesting sticker. Interesting sticker. Yeah, like that's the thing, like electric cars. Like electric cars are like really, really like, I'm not gonna say they're revolutionary, but like they're a step in the right direction. But then you realize like the amount of like, how should I say, the amount of waste that goes into the cars. Like they're still not as like, I guess like eco-friendly as we made them out to be. We still need to like do certain things to
Well-
make them more eco-friendly.
I'll be curious how much, as it stands right now, how much carbon footprint does it produce compared
Yeah,
to
I don't know the
a car per
numbers,
year.
guys. And if you know the numbers and you're watching this on YouTube, you know, put it in the comments down below so you can educate
I'm
us on
curious.
that. Yeah, because I usually believe that you guys that are watching us is a lot smarter than us. So, well, put it in the comments down below, and don't forget to give the video a like if you're watching this on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
the movie the
Yeah,
name
go
of the anime I was talking about earlier is called From a New World.
Shinsei Kayori is the
From a
technical-
New World.
Yeah, that one. Yep.
Let's see it. I'm gonna Google it and see what it looks like. I usually remember anime by its poster, but never by its name. That's how bad I am with it. From a New World,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's really deep, isn't it? It's like it has a lot of themes and
Oh.
it's really philosophical.
I think I've seen this, but I have not. I don't have memories of it though. I've seen the poster, but I feel.
I made Joe watch it and he
Yeah.
was into it. When he got to the end, he hated it. He screamed no when he called me. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm like, yeah, I hate this anime.
Yeah, like, do you guys ever had memories of like an anime you've watched and you were like, this seemed interesting when I started, but then by the end it was just like, it felt lackluster?
Oh, well, there's probably plenty of those. Where
Yeah.
it's like started out good, but it's like
Yeah.
flop.
I forgot which one. Oh, famous one is what is that? The anime with the it's a future where people can't lie, and if they lie, there's like a gun that could detect like their psychology.
Psychopath?
Psychopath.
Oh,
Yeah.
Psychopaths?
Psychopaths. I only saw the season 1.
I only saw, I think I saw a little bit of season 2, but then I just stopped because I was like, why am I watching this? And then I realized that I forgot I was not watching it.
Yeah, Psychopaths is like I enjoyed most of it, and when I
Yeah.
got to the end of season 1, I was like, I hate this show.
Oh,
It's
so you
like-
didn't watch season 2?
My superpower is I can lie to your gun, and I was like, alright, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. I guess that was the whole entire theme of like.
Yeah,
psychopaths.
it's like the whole morality, and you sort of knew that he was gonna like that was a power or something, but I thought it was like a device he had.
Uh-huh.
He just straight up is like a psychopath, so
Yeah.
like it proves that every psychopath in that society can lie to the gun. And I
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Wait, did you see season 2 of it?
No,
No?
I stopped. Yeah, I stopped
Oh,
watching it.
The ending was so bad that it didn't make you want to go season 2.
Yeah, I don't-
It's like
I'm
this
assuming-
ending is crap. I don't care if it has a season 2. I'm flipping the table. I'm knocking my laptop.
Some people could like that type of stuff, but when I saw it, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not gonna watch it.
Nicole says, sounds like one of the factions from Divergent. Oh, okay. I think that's like a movie series, isn't it?
Divergent, yeah.
Yeah, because like I think I've seen like one of the movies. I don't remember completing the series though. But like speaking of movies though, like I kind of miss like the times when I would like be excited to watch the Harry Potter films. Like,
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
when I was in middle school, like, I didn't get a chance to go see a movie because my parents, like, obviously I was too young and my parents didn't want to take me. And obviously I didn't want to go with my parents either because I know that I would enjoy watching a movie with my parents. So I would bother my friends that saw the movie. It's like, oh, you saw the movie? What happened after that? And what happened after that? I was like that annoying kid that would just bother them a lot.
Oh man.
Yeah.
If we were watching movies together, we would probably go watch like Pokemon stuff, but
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't bring you to watch the deeper
The what?
like movies that have like deeper psychology like meanings and
mhm.
stuff.
Why not?
No, because my dad was bringing that up too, how like he was surprised that so there's this horror movie that recently came out called Heretic.
Yeah.
It's not the type of horror that you'd think it'd be like without spoiling too much, like you think it's gonna be like I don't know, like a crazy like supernatural horror thing or like a serial killer thing. It's more of like it's a test of faith or like philosophy type of movie. So
Uh-huh.
going in, I wasn't expecting that, and like after finishing it, I still think it's a good movie, but it's not a movie that I would go to the movies to pay for. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I would watch it if it was on like an app or on TV, but like I wouldn't like
Like
I
on
paid to
Netflix?
watch it in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid to watch it in theaters, and I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have paid for this, but I still liked the movie.
Uh-huh.
But that's the type of movie that I can't really watch with other people.
Right.
Because it's like they're gonna be talking too much about the movie. Like I already know, like with most of my friends group. Like I mean now, like you could probably, like if we were watching together, even the three of us, I think like we would be fine.
Yeah.
And then like we'd probably just make like some side comments here and there. But some of the people that I hang out with, definitely like we'd be fucking around probably throughout the movie, or like we'd be fucking around, and I'm like, oh, I can't focus on the movie or the movie.
Yeah, it also
so.
depends on the people you're with. Nicole says you like the Heretic. I hated it.
That's exactly it, Nicole. It's like it's one of those movies where you either like it or hate it. I'm not a fan of the twist, but I understand.
Nicole
Like-
reminded me of Alice when she said that.
Yeah. Like I went to the theater thinking it was gonna be a 9 out
Yeah.
of 10 movie or something, and I left
Yeah.
with like a 7 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's because the twist they executed. I was like, oh my god. I was
Actually,
like, okay.
the thing of it is that me and Kevin, right? Like, if you're a person that just wants to sit in a room quiet watching a movie, like, especially if it's a movie we've already seen, you wouldn't be happy with us in the room because, like, if it's a movie we know really well, we'll be quoting like hell out of it. Like, especially if it's like The Matrix or something, we would probably be quoting while like Neo and Agent Smith are talking.
Yeah, you guys have like that gift, yo. I can't like these guys memorize so many quotes from so many
Wow.
different things. I can't do it, man. They've like Peter has recited the V,
V for
the
Vendetta, the V
line,
speech.
the V for Vendetta speech. He's memorized like the Anderson. I mean the agent.
Agent Smith.
One.
Yeah, and it's like, and you know, of course, like SpongeBob is popular enough where a lot of people like will say
Yeah,
random
it's
lines, but
quotable.
these guys, they know like a line from every episode. It's crazy. Like regardless
really.
of whatever
We just
episode
know,
we
like,
watch, they'll
certain
like say
lines.
something.
Yeah, we just know certain lines, not like the weird thing with me is that I don't know why, but there were certain scenes like I love dialogue scenes for some reason. I like my favorite scene from like the Matrix series was mainly the scene with Neo and the Architect. I don't know why, but some people find that scene to be the most boring. I really like those scenes mainly.
Hmm.
So, like, you know, like, I think if it has, like, really witty dialogue, I guess, like, for me, it's, like, I guess I just like it, you know?
Fair
Like,
enough.
Yeah, because, like, also as a kid, I had nothing to do but to watch television. So, like, I basically would, like, watch shows over and over again. And there would be, like, a lot of reruns. So I would remember lines really easily. Comparing me to Alice, wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to remember lines.
Really?
I remember some lines, but not like a lot of them.
Yeah, like when I started quoting stuff, like John was like, "Yo, you memorized like a 30-minute script," and I'm like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and I'm
Yeah, it was a
like,
lot of words, dude. It's like 3 paragraphs. I was like, that's wild.
I don't think that's that big a deal. I think like a lot of people can do it, in my personal opinion.
I like it, so if you decide to be an actor, like it's important to memorize like your lines
Yeah.
and stuff. If if I was to be an actor, I think that's my weakest thing. Like I can't memorize like that amount of
Mhm.
like words or lines like that. But then I might be able to act, but then that means that I would have to be like what's that called? Improvising the whole time. Like
I
me
mean,
and Kevin like
I think
memorize the lines.
Jim Carrey does that. Like he mostly improvises a lot of his scenes a lot. Yeah, sure he like goes off the script, but he finds a way to turn the script in a way that he can improvise on the spot too. Because if you look at the behind the scenes with the movies he's done, he's always improvising. Because everyone knows that he's just like an over actor. He just basically just goes over the top a lot. So maybe that's probably the type of acting type you are.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, definitely be like more comedic or like playing the cheesy villains. I can see myself doing something like that.
Like you would probably be the Jim Carrey villain, like cause like Jim Carrey has played villains before. He's played Count Olaf in
Yeah,
the series of. Like
right.
you would probably be the villain that's like very scuff and like basically just like I hear what you're saying, but I don't give a crap. That's basically like how you would probably do the dialogue.
Right.
Let's see, what did you type in, Nicole?
Oh, no.
That's like
Spoilers.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the reason why like we bring up like our friend Alice a lot is because she's also a streamer, so like she's very hilarious actually.
Yeah, she's been playing Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, like a lot of people have
Funny
been playing
because,
I mean, like you've been playing it too, John, right?
Yeah, but it's funny because at first there's a clip of her where in the beginning they ask
Yeah.
you to hook onto like literally in the beginning of the game there's a part where you have to hook onto like a flying monster or a
Yeah.
flying it's technically a monster. Yeah, it's like a flying beast. It's a
Yeah.
it's a small thing
Yeah.
for you to escape this like pit hole in the sand, right?
Oh yeah, I
I
think I saw that.
I thought because the way it opens up, it looks
Yeah.
like you're supposed to shoot the guy that's like going down the hole to save him.
Yeah.
Because like the shot is a what's that called? It's like a hook, right? So
Yeah,
I thought you
grappling
had to
hook.
hook him a grappling hook to save like pull him out. So like I actually streamed it too. I was like constantly spamming at him, and I was like, what the fuck? Why can't I like get him? And then I looked like Jack I think was in the comments told me to look up, and there was a
Yeah.
fucking like a monster I had to hook onto, and I was like, oh, and then I did it, and the cutscene kept going. If he didn't say that, I would have been stuck there for like I was there already for like a minute or two, just like trying to spam like hook. I was like, why isn't it working?
So you had to look up essentially, right?
Yeah,
No man, that's funny.
It's funny that it's also a phenomenon with adults, but there was it was like an anime where um, that was kind of the theme where the kids there was like a hide and seek and they were trying to figure out where the kid hid,
Yeah.
and essentially, yeah, because the main character noticed like, hey, the kids aren't looking up; they're all looking either within their sight or below,
Yeah.
and that's they figured out that the kid hid somewhere higher.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we don't have the tendency as humans to like look up.
all right.
We look more, eye level or below.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like speaking of hide and seek, right? Like you guys remember when we were younger, we would play games like Manhunt and stuff?
yeah.
Yo, those are the
Mhm.
days.
Scavenger.
Like, yeah, scavenger hunt and all that stuff. It's always funny because like I always remember like as a kid, like if one of our friends lived in a neighborhood that was very chill and like we were able to climb over fences, we would end up climbing up into other people's yards. It was just like so freaking crazy to me. Like we were able to like do so much during that time, you know? Like it felt like everyone's house was an adventure for something.
Right.
Definitely something I can't. Well, I could relate with in terms of like when I was a kid, but like when I am here in America, that my neighborhood wasn't sketchy, so I didn't.
right,
I was
right.
a shut in essentially.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Like I remember whenever I went to my friend's house, like I would really like draw maps, like treasure maps, like just drawing from like cartoons and stuff, and I would just bring it with me, and then like me and my friends would like try to pretend we were like on a treasure hunt, like in their house. Like we would use their stairs as like a mountain we would climb up. We would probably use a closet as sort of like a cave we had to go into. It was like so immersive. It was like we were like living an episode of the Rugrats.
That's nice.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends would bring that up, like whenever we meet up. Like a lot of my childhood friends that would bring it up. It's like, yeah, you remember the day when you drew those maps and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I love drawing those maps because I knew we would use them. But then we got into toys, and then a lot of people would just want to play with their toys and wanted to play on computers.
Yep. Once I had the Game Boy Advance. And
Yeah.
I remember there
PS1.
was oh yeah, oh man. It's about to be a new topic before we jump into it.
We
like,
got plenty of time. Go on.
I remember I think it was one of the last times we played Manhunt. So
Yeah.
I used to stay at a family friend's house after school because like my mom would like come home late, so I would sometimes stay like with a family friend. And then whenever I was over their house, they lived in like a cul-de-sac, right? So it almost felt like Ed and Eddie because all of the houses almost had all kids.
Yeah.
So like we would always like group up in the center, and if we had enough kids, we would play Manhunt.
Oh.
I remember I brought my friend over. Like
Yeah.
he was one of my friends from like where I was living.
Mhm.
I remember when we were playing Manhunt, we were on somebody's like porch, like outside, and we were just hanging out there. And then I think we heard the guy that lives there come out, and he asked us like what we were doing in like a normal voice. But I think he knew that we were playing Manhunt, so we were like talking to him about Manhunt. And then the person like while we were talking, we just saw all these like we heard one kid's like yell out "run" outside his house, and then everyone was just running like into his backyard, and they jumped over the fence. And then
The
we
heck?
like looked down, and then one of the people that was it, I think like we were playing infection what's that called, Manhunt, where we had like more than one person.
Yeah.
We saw him, and then when we were talking to the neighbor, we were saying bye. I remember we jumped off the porch, and like so we're like we might be like I don't like 30 feet above the ground or something.
Yeah.
And then we just like jumped down into the grass. My
Oh
friend,
my God.
my friend is big.
Yeah.
When he landed,
Right.
he landed like wrong. He thought he sprained his leg or something, but he was laughing so hard because it was also his like funny bone.
Oh,
So I was like, I was
Oh.
trying to drag him, but we were both laughing so loud, and the guy that was it just stared at us. He was like, "I'll give you guys mercy," since I saw him jump off, and then, like, and then so he was like, "I'll come back in like a minute." So we were just thinking across the neighborhood. We were like, "How far can we get?" Because he messed up his foot. So
Oh
we like
man.
instead of going super far, we
Yeah.
like we walked outside the backyard, and then we just turned to the left, and then we hid under the bushes, which was kind of scary because like it's weird when you're in Manhunt mode.
Yeah.
You're like willing to like go anywhere to hide, but
Yeah.
like when you're not in Manhunt mode and you're like rational, it's like I just went into this fucking bush in the middle of the dark. Like there's probably like 5 million spiders on me right now.
Exactly.
I didn't know you had arachnophobia, John.
Yeah, well, it's
Anyone
more.
would.
I have like bug phobia. It's not really a
Aw.
phobia. It's not really a bug. A
You just
phobia,
don't like
but,
things crawling on you.
yeah, I loved insects. Like I love even till now. I sort of love insects, but I just don't like them touching me. But when I was a kid, I like loved watching like National Geographic with all the insects. But anyway,
Oh.
during Manhunt, the guy came after us, and then there was another. The second guy was with him, and then they were like walking around. They're like, they shouldn't be that far because one of them's injured. And he's like, how did they get so like far? And then, so they were like looking around, and then we were like holding back our laughs. And then I remember we were just staying there,
Yeah.
and then my friend screamed like they left, but then he just screamed randomly.
Yeah.
I jumped out of the bushes and I dragged him out of the bush. I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Yo, there's a centipede on me. Like, there's like something crawling on him." I was freaking out too, so I was like trying to slap it off him, and then I saw a spider on my arm.
Oh my god.
we were just like yelling in this like yard. Like it was like the yard beyond like the first neighbor's backyard. We're just yelling, and then he was looking at us, wondering if we were like okay. Stopped yelling the
Wow.
whole time.
Oh my god,
The
that's
That
person
is
like
epic.
got tagged like eventually, but it was just so funny because so stupid. Like all of my memories, that's when I was living like in New York, like not in the city, but like in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Like all of my memories there are so stupid. Like they're just so funny.
Yeah, that
So
sounded
dumb.
funny.
Yeah,
my
that's
gosh.
crazy.
You see,
He's
this
so
is the reason why I love talking to John, because he has these weird stories that just like,
Wild.
it just basically twists at the end, and it just makes me laugh so much because it sounds like something from a cartoon.
Yeah, it's just so dumb because I think that's like also what might have fueled some of our like random stuff we would do, probably because
Yeah.
the cul-de-sac looks so much like Ed, Edd n Eddy's
Yeah.
that like, we
Mm.
copied some of the stuff they would do or something on the show. But
Yeah.
I remember that wasn't even the cul-de-sac. It was one of my other friends in New York. We were at his house,
Yeah.
and like most of us in that group were like Filipino, but we had like a few like other races in there, right? Like there's this white guy who's like wild, like he's like hyper all the time. And I remember we were relaxing by the pool, and I think we were talking about girls or like girl problems or something. And then he busted so we're by the pool, he busted the gate open with the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a cart from like a supermarket. He's like, yo guys, look what I found, and he just crashes it into we were laughing so hard because it was so random, and we were like, wait, we have to get this out. And then we spent like the next like 2 or 4 hours getting this cart out of a pool, and you know it's heavy because it's like water.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is so stupid. Like we kept like scolding him the whole time. We're like, this is so dumb.
Oh my
And then-
gosh.
One of the
Oh,
aunts
no.
came home just when we got the cart out.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, could I use this cart?" And then she grabbed it. She's like, "Why is it wet?"
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Oh man, it was so funny.
Yo, like parents must have been like with you guys. It's like, yo, which one of your child is a problem child?
Yeah, there were definitely like there were moments where the parents wouldn't let us come over. They're like, they have to relax, and then they can come over like next month or so.
Oh my god, yo, like they're probably like, yo, thank God our kids are not into science, because they would have made like so many different concoctions that they probably would have blown up the house.
It was
Oh my-
it was just funny, and it's like this kid is also like I mean his parents were both doctors, right? So you know
Right.
they're pretty well off, but he likes to wear like expensive clothing even when he was younger. I
Yeah.
remember he got this new coat. And he walked into the lunchroom to talk to us about it,
Yeah.
and then some kid just smeared ketchup on the
Oh,
jacket while he was
no.
talking to us, and it was just like some random kid. We don't know who that kid was. And he just like smeared it on his jacket, and then he got so mad. They were
Damn.
about to fight in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
friend tapped me in the shoulder. He's like, "Yo, while he fights, we should get milk, cause no one's there. Cause you know how like cafeteria milk was so
Yeah.
good." He wanted me and him to just sneak off and then get milk, and I was like, "Yo, we have to like help him out, something like blah blah blah." And then it was like there was an argument. Then teachers are coming,
Yeah.
and then we just decided to just like sneak off and get the milk anyway. It's like we were like excited, and then like we gave some of the milk to to our friend, right? And then
Yeah.
he was kind of like crying because it's new coat, and
Yeah.
then like it's like he doesn't feel justified and stuff, so we gave him like some of the milk,
Yeah.
and then we all toasted, and then we drank it together.
Yeah.
A batch of the milk we drank was expired. So we were messed up. Like by the end of the day, we were constantly going to the bathroom. So stupid, bro.
You're literally like freaking high school boys, like the anime right there.
Yeah, that's like when I saw High School Boys, I was like, this is so good. This is like exactly what we did like in middle school and high school and stuff.
Wow.
Yo, that was so freaking karma. Oh my god, that's so funny.
That is quite a story.
It's so good.
Yo, why didn't you write a book about this, man? You should write a book about this stuff. This
They
is
the
freaking
memories come and go, and when I talk to them about it, or last time I haven't seen them in a really long time. I'm sure we're cool. Like I just haven't seen them in a while. People
Yeah.
just but last time I talked to them, they don't like remember half of the stuff we do, and I'm gonna assume they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
But I think they're also saying it because their girlfriends are there or they're like fiancés and they don't want them to know like what.
Why would you want them to know? It's funny. Those are funny stories.
But it's so
good.
stupid. Yeah, it's just dumb.
It's just funny that basically you just had your friend was in a fight, and basically it's like you basically just planned for yourselves instead of your friend. It's like, and you guys are like, yo, instead of doing a heist on the cash register in the kitchen, let's go for the milk.
The milk.
And I'm like, what the freak?
It was just so dumb. And then like one of the worst things I did, like till this day, I think we still found it funny, but it was like messed up. Is my friend's older brother.
Right.
So like this is basically with the friend. So like when I was in that our group of friends, we would make music for fun, right? We had like that fake rap group or whatever. He was like the older brother was the person making the beats or like essentially mixing it with us, and like there was a girl he had a crush on that was in my class, so like he wanted me to give her like his letter or something, or like like to talk to her and stuff about it.
Yeah.
So I talked to her, and then afterwards I told him, and he was so happy. Next week or the next morning or something, he was so mad because I gave it to
the wrong one.
I gave it to the wrong girl.
Oh no!
Because in my class there were two Filipino girls, and I gave it to the other one, and they were best friends too.
Oh no, bro!
Holy shit! That's
So
epic.
I think they ended up dating for a little bit. Like I don't know if it was like a couple of weeks or like months or something. But they eventually broke up, and then the girl he actually liked, like they would talk, but then like it felt awkward for him to like make a move because like went out with the friend.
Oh,
damn. I had to I told him like, yo man, like if you need to like badmouth me in front of her or whatever, just do it, and then like I'll be there to like say like, yeah, it was my fault because I thought he was talking about the other person. I don't know if that makes it better, but
yeah.
I fucked it up, and I was like, oh man.
Wow.
Oh man, yeah. That's like a typical like high school like
That was epic.
episode, like an episode of like a high school like preteen drama or something. It's like, you gave my thing to the wrong girl, you idiot.
I know.
Literally comedy too, though. Like,
It's like an episode of Saved by the Bell.
in my head, I'm like, oh my god, no, this is like not normal. Like I have to be smarter, and this probably never happens to anybody. And then I saw Degrassi like years later, and it happened in Degrassi, and I was like, is this common?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's more common than you might realize, because like you have a way to express your feelings in a love letter, but you just don't know how to give it to them directly. So you like as a teenager, you think of all these weird plans to like, okay, I'll give it to this person, and they'll give it to this person. Yeah, you try to mastermind it, but then it just screws up so badly because there's like so many variables. Yeah, there's so many variables where it could fall apart, and then like you're like, oh damn, yeah, I screwed up. That's why like in high school you should never rely on a messenger to give your love letters. You basically just have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Drop it on their locker.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I was always like the type that was kind of like, well, if you wanted it, you should have done it yourself. I'm sure I said something snarky like that to him too before I started apologizing.
When was this?
So bad. This is definitely in middle school. Like,
oh damn, yeah. Middle school is the worst because you have these emotions and you're like I mean,
puberty,
yeah, like you're going through puberty and you're like, you don't know what to do with them, and like that's like the hard part. But
I
yeah,
think
like
it was-
I think that mistake can happen anywhere.
Yeah, it was probably like 8th grade, like 8th or 7th grade. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah, like that's when you actually start learning. I guess like when you start crushing on like certain like people, you then realize that there's a pattern. But a lot of people don't ask themselves about the pattern. So
like in the types of girls you like, you mean?
yeah, and the type of girls or type of guys you date, or the type of girls or
Mm-hmm.
guys you like date. So like, what I noticed is that I think it started in middle school for me. It's like I don't know why, but I think I had a thing for snooty girls, like
Snooty.
like snooty girls, like girls that
Like
think that they're too good for like people.
Oh, like a celebrity almost? What do you mean?
Not like a
like-
celebrity, but it's like, oh, I look so good,
Talking
but
about-
I can't date mediocre men. Like
He's talking about tsundere, like
not really
what's
not
the-
really tsundere, more like an ojo-sama type.
Okay,
Or-
okay.
or like is it like from like Evangelion, the girl with like the blonde hair?
Are you talking about Asuka?
Yeah,
no,
Asuka.
Asuka? Oh.
Asuka's a tsundere mainly, but yeah, like something
Yeah.
similar to that, yeah.
Hmm.
No, Nicole, snooty girls. Girls that they think that they're too good for anybody.
Yeah, I had to ask that too.
Easy.
You know, like I didn't know exactly.
No, it's because John made me laugh so much that there's like so much like spit in my throat.
I'm into sneezy girls.
I'm into coughing girls.
I'm into psych.
You know there's a sneeze fetish, right?
Is there really?
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
sneeze
there's probably a fetish for.
I mean,
whatever you think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
there's a sneeze fetish.
Well, okay. This is probably like a bad time to admit it. I mean, I've said it before, but this is probably a bad time to admit it, but I feel like it's on topic. Is like Mysterious Girlfriend X. I thought that was like the ideal type, the girl.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that. You said it like so inconvertly. You were like, yo, like you ever heard of that anime like Girlfriend X? And I'm like, yeah, I know about it. And I'm like, why? It's like, yo, like you said something about like I'm strangely attracted to that.
Oh.
If,
That's like
if a
spit and
cute,
stuff?
if a
I
cute
just
girl
like
in
that.
my school like drooled in a puddle and then told me to lick it, like when I was younger, I was,
Oh, you didn't have to go that far to say it in the podcast, though. But hey,
Wow.
but hey, I guess that's
You're wild. You
Like,
live the wild life.
John is like the person is like, yo, you see that science lab over there? Take that test tube. And it's like, why? I want you to drool in it.
you know that scene in Golden Boy when she's cleaning the toilet. And
Oh
it's
no, not Golden Boy. Oh god.
Golden Boy, like the cooking one?
No,
No,
well, it's the old school OVA anime. It's about a guy that rides on a bike and he basically just tries every job that he comes
Oh,
across.
I haven't seen this, but wow,
Oh, it's a-
1995.
It's
Oh,
a classic.
1995.
I recommend.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a very cultured watch for anime watchers like us.
It's just like I think it's just 6 episodes, but like
yeah, it's 6.
it's so good. Like it's like it's technically, I guess, by the end of the show, it's technically like a harem, but it's not. Like there's a lot of girls that like him, but it's like individual locations, and then like it's sort of like when they're together, he's not even there. Like because he's what's that called? There's a term for it where he's constantly going on for the next job.
Yeah, he's like I don't know what the Japanese term is for it, but it's their version of a ronin. Like basically, like he graduated from like I think he graduated from Tokyo U, and basically he just rides a bike like he didn't even graduate. He basically like completed everything up to the last day, but then the last day he just took a bike and started riding around Japan.
Yeah, he just like he wanders around like picking up random jobs to like
Yeah.
figure out I think like what he wants to be.
Yeah, and like by the end, like every like woman he meets, like they think he's like the most like goofiest guy ever that can't do anything right, but then they've discovered that, oh my god, this guy's got skills.
Yeah, there's like, if you've seen the memes, there's like this meme where it's an anime meme where the guy is like he's about to prove to the swimming instructor that he could swim, and then like he jumps into the pool He's like struggling the whole time. You can hear him like coughing and like drowning in the water. He's like struggling the whole time. When he gets to the end of the pool, he slaps it like a professional, and then he turns around, and looks at them. He's like, "How did I do?"
Yeah, I remember that meme. Like I was like, and like it's funny because a lot of people don't know where that's from, and then I would be like, "Yo, I know where that's from."
Yeah, it's so good. I love that anime.
Yeah, I think like it's funny because like my first harem anime was Tenchi Muyo, and
Wow.
like yeah, and
Oh,
like
man.
and it
So
was
bad.
and it was so funny because like Tenchi was nothing like the typical harem protagonist that we're used to seeing in harem anime. Like he didn't even like all the other girls that was like around him. And I find it so funny that we went from that to like, you know, like the typical loser guy that just can't like basically has like I guess the attention span of a doorknob. You know?
Yeah.
Too good.
Yeah, it's like so good. Like the old Toonami shows I would go back to watching because like they were just so fun to watch.
I
But-
think that's like it's honestly the perfect like I feel like Adult Swim and Toonami had like the perfect like anime kit. Like
Oh,
anime
yeah.
started.
With the lineup.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like
yeah.
they introduced Cowboy Bebop too, and then so I know some people I work with they don't like the old school anime look,
Uh-huh.
but they were cool with Inuyasha. They were cool with like Cowboy Bebop. They were cool with
Right.
Full Metal.
Yeah. Like you're talking about Full Metal Alchemist, right?
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah.
Yeah, like I know this is a controversial opinion for me, but I like the older Full Metal Alchemist compared to Brotherhood.
To Brotherhood.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
the
Max did the same.
the story.
Yeah, I think it's because like with Brotherhood is not bad. Don't take this out of context, guys. I mean, you could probably like steam on me in the comments if you want, but I think the reason why I liked I guess the first airing of Full Metal Alchemist more is because like I think it's because during the early 2000s like a lot of anime were like really playing with cinematography back then. Because when I look at the camera shots, like within like the old school anime, they love to play with camera shots, and they play them with a really great psychological precision that it made me felt like, wow, I'm watching a movie. Like now, like I'm sure like most anime that are airing now do the same type of thing, but it just feels more cheap than like what they did back then for me. But of course, it could be my nostalgia talking when I say this. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think the greed design in the original was my favorite. Brotherhood is my favorite between the two, but
Yeah.
the greed design from the first one was my favorite between the two.
I see. I see.
I really
can't
like
say.
that greed.
I have not seen Metal
Metal.
Alchemist.
Oh, you haven't seen both versions?
I haven't seen any of them yet.
Yeah, I would recommend like I mean like if you want to do Brotherhood, you can do Brotherhood, but I fully recommend like watching I guess the first Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, I like I know the situation because Max has explained it to me before.
Oh, okay.
It was like I guess like Brotherhood didn't. It was like its own story. Like the writers.
No,
of
it's
that.
no, it's just that like the way the Brotherhood introduces. So, Full Brotherhood was supposed to be Full Metal Alchemist the way it was supposed to originally be. In other words, like it was supposed to follow the manga to the extreme. I mean,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the fullest extent because the manga was already finished. The problem was is that at the beginning of Brotherhood, it made it feel as if you had to watch the original to get the emotional impact of the first few episodes
Okay.
because they kind of rushed through the first arc in the beginning.
Also, Brotherhood is the one that is close to the source material.
Manga.
Yeah, it's closer to the
Ah,
source
okay,
material.
okay. And
that's the reason why
original
people.
one,
Yeah,
it had the one that had like its own creative. Like,
yeah, it had its own creative ending at the end because the manga wasn't finished.
Okay.
So yeah, so like the reason why I like the I guess the first airing of Full Metal Alchemist. I'm not gonna say the original because obviously people will complain. But the first airing of Full Metal Alchemist, I liked it because it felt as if like it had a much more darker tone to it, and I think anime back in the day, like at least in the early 2000s, had that. Like it had a more like whenever I look at Brotherhood as well as Full Metal Alchemist, like the first airing of Full Metal Alchemist, it feels as if like the first Full Metal was like Batman, like the Batman the animated series, and Brotherhood was like Batman Beyond. That's how I felt. when I was watching Brotherhood. It felt like it was just kind of an extension to it, but at the same time, it just felt like more brighter, and it had much, like, I guess, more excitable undertones. Like it felt it felt like it was much more like cartoony in some sense.
Okay.
There could have been, I feel like in the first one, it was more like psychological.
Yeah.
I mean, both have psychological, right? But like, I think the first one was focused a lot more on like the darker psychological effects on the characters. While in Brotherhood, they did that too, but like, there's so much happening and there's so much like riding on the line that the characters like have to, like the main characters, like it feels like they have to like not get affected and then like focus on the actual fights. While like the first one, they were like affected, and then the endings are also different. Like the way it progresses in the first one compared to Brotherhood.
Yeah, like the original, the way it ending would have to be a original ending, but the way they ended it was not bad, in my personal opinion. But at the same time, I understand why people have problems with it. But for me, it just felt like it was one of those endings where it's like, not everyone had a happy ever after. It more like felt like the brothers completed their story, and now they can go on doing whatever it is they were meant to do for themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, the second one is sort of like world peace, but you know, the sacrifices will be remembered type of thing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, we do like stories like that too, because like I think the ending of Brotherhood was like a good complete ending, and I accept that. I just felt like the way that the story was made was kind of like, it felt like there was like comedy in it that was kind of popping out where it shouldn't have, and it kind of took me out of like the stakes of the situation, I think. But then again, when I was in high school, I just wanted a really good dark story.
I don't remember, was Sloth in the first one?
In the original?
Yeah.
Well, not the original, the first airing.
The first one, yeah.
Sloth was in it, but like obviously there was different variations of different characters because they had to change certain characters around. So like, spoiler territory if you guys haven't seen either one, but Sloth takes the form of Ed and Alphonse's mother in like the first airing, because they didn't have Sloth set up back then. Okay. And I think Sloth, like in the Brotherhood, like it like is like a big muscle type of homunculus. Yeah.
At first I hated his character design, but then when he actually like when it played out like that, like his character, I was like, oh, this is actually like interesting take on Sloth. Like he's always sleepy all the time and tired, but because he's always sleepy and tired, and because of like the conditions, I guess, or like it's like where he sleeps and stuff, he's like huge and muscular, so it's like he's a big guy, so you think he's slow, but his style is burst, but because he bursts, he gets tired really easily. Like he has like it's like his cooldown.
Yeah, pretty much. Cooldown.
He's like Demon Slayer, like the freaking every time.
He's literally Snorlax. He's literally Snorlax, because like he just basically punches once and he's like, oh, tired, must go to sleep.
Yeah, it's like if like it's like when he attacks, it's almost like a physical hyper beam tackle. Yeah. But then like after he does it, he has to chill out. Yeah. And then like he could do it again, and then he could chill out. He could do a combo, and then he has to like chill out.
Yeah, and also I felt like the homunculi in the first airing of Fullmetal Alchemist, they felt more vindictive. They felt like they were actually pulling the strings a lot more in a darker way. Whilst in like Brotherhood, it felt as if like more human. Yeah, I mean, like I didn't. No, actually, I think in the original they felt more human, but at the same time, it's like when they did evil things, you actually felt the impact of what they were doing. But in Brotherhood, it felt as if it was like they were just typically like Team Rocket in some ways at some moments, but then they were doing some. But I think it's because it's the way that it was animated, because the way that Brotherhood is animated, it just felt brighter, and it kind of made me. I guess I was just so used to the first airing that I was expecting more like, I guess, like darker undertones, and it felt like it didn't deliver on the darker undertones.
I forgot if you see Wrath in I mean, you see Wrath in both, but I forgot if Wrath in the first one, it showed off like his true like power, or his full power, but Brotherhood did a good job, in my opinion. The Wrath in Brotherhood is
Yeah.
like god tier. Like he's like true Wrath. Like it shows him like infiltrating a military base, just running and walking in, and like he's unstoppable. They use like everything on him, and he just like he stops everything and cuts everything up.
Wrath is still Bradley, right?
Yeah, it's Bradley.
Okay, yeah, because like I think Wrath in like both versions are just as good, like
Okay.
because I still felt like they had a presence
I don't
because
remember
yeah,
like the action scenes anymore from the first one, but I think like the one that reverberates with me technically in both, but specifically the first one is Lust versus what's his name, the captain or corporal,
oh
the dude that does
Mustang,
the fire. Yeah, Mustang. Yeah,
Mustang, yeah,
yeah. Like
I'm not
that
sure if
was-
Lust actually faced Mustang in the first airing, because I remember he faced Wrath, but I don't know if he faced Lust
okay.
in the original airing of the first one. So, well, I should say official because it's not original. I gotta stop doing that. Because like, see, that's like, I guess that's why like I'm so used to it. Like that because I remember watching Full Metal Alchemist on the internet, like when it was fan subbed, and then when it came out in Adult Swim, I was like, wait, what? Say what? Like, did you ever had those moments where you watched an anime for like on the internet, and then suddenly like it comes out with an American version of it or an English version of it, and you were like,
Yeah.
wait, what? What now?
Yeah,
You ever-
I like
Yeah, go on.
when it came to Full Metal. When it came to Full Metal, I watched I think most of it, if not all of it, dubbed. But then I think I saw Brotherhood, maybe in
Sub.
full Japanese. I
Yeah,
forget.
because
Yeah.
because the internet, like, I think anime was like maturing in the internet still at that time, because we watched the Attack on Titan when it was airing in Japan, like on the internet.
I remember like bad fan subs. Like
oh yeah, when they would put
or,
like
like-
footnotes on the top.
yeah, or like they would even like make them curse in the subs, but then
Yeah.
they don't actually like say those actual lines in like the actual translation.
Right. Yeah.
Or like the misspellings and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, this is this is all I have.
No, like with Yu-Gi-Oh, it was worse because like with Yu-Gi-Oh, like it didn't have a big fan following than like other anime because it was like, I guess, quote unquote, like a kid show. So you either would watch it like raw with no subtitles, or you had like a badly translated sub that was from China, and like the subs were so bad you were like, what is this? This is not even English that I can comprehend. You understood what the subs were saying, but it was just so bad. It was like when they say like "oro no tan doro," which is mean it's like my turn, I draw. It would translate to basically like it basically says his turn, now drawing. I'm like, what? I don't think that's what it's supposed to mean.
Right.
It's like you like back then, like basically you either got like, I actually kind of miss anime that had came out in raw, because I'm like, I have nothing to practice anymore because now everything's subbed so quickly. You know?
Yeah, true. But you could turn off the subtitles. Look in Crunchyroll. Turn
Unless,
off subtitles.
well, back then you couldn't because they were hard subbed.
Right. It was hard sub before, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like now you could turn them off, but at the same time, it's like back then. Remember when we downloaded anime? Like the subtitles were hard subbed onto the video, so we couldn't turn them off. And then people started coming up with soft subs, and I was like, what is that? And then I started downloading those. I was like, oh, you can turn off the subtitles. It was like stuff like that, you know? Oh, man.
It's definitely a different experience watching like something with subtitles.
Oh, yeah,
Although,
definitely. Yeah.
I still watch with subtitles.
Yeah,
Me too.
there's no shame with that. There's no shame with that. Like, sometimes I watch with subtitles, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, the thing of it is that, like, luckily I have headphones that are, like, wireless, so I can walk around the house, and if I'm watching anime, like, even though I'm away from the screen, I feel as if, like, I can understand, like, probably, like, around, like, maybe 10% of what's going on, what I'm hearing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, like, I feel as if, like, it's also good practice. Okay, so we got like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
John, do you have a 4-minute story you can tell to end the night with a laugh?
Oh man. Nothing come. I mean, I guess like the. Have you guys ever had like you guys have had sleepovers, right, with your friends? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like all. There was a time where it was. I think it was it was one of my friend's birthdays, and then we had like a huge sleepover at somebody else's house, and then we wanted to play. We wanted to play what was that, Bloody Mary?
Wow, in the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh
So
Man.
it's like it was a lot of guys. I think it's exaggerated if I say 18. I'm gonna just say like 8 or 9.
Damn.
There was like 8 or 9 of us sleeping over this guy's house because like we're sleeping in the basement, but
Yeah.
it's a huge basement. Like there's a lot of room. So like everyone's just sleeping there, and then somebody's like, "Oh, you guys want to do Bloody Mary?" Because I think we were watching a horror movie before like we went to bed. And then we're like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." So then like we went to the bathroom to do Bloody Mary,
Yeah.
but there's like 8 or 9.
In the bathroom.
Wow.
It's like mad dudes going to the bathroom. It's so many people that like not everyone can physically fit in the bathroom, right? So some of us are just peeking in the bathroom. And then I remember I was like in the front, like
Yeah.
somewhere next to the birthday boy, because we wanted the birthday boy to do it.
Yeah.
And then we asked somebody to turn off the lights, and then he was like, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and then we're like, no, that's too fast. So then and then people were saying different things, like we have to turn the other way, like while we do it or something. So our eyes were closed, and then somebody was going Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and then like before he could finish, somebody just screamed, and then everyone like screamed and panicked. So like everyone was like trying to jump out of the bathroom. I remember like somebody elbowed like my and then like when I could open my eyes, I think I tripped over somebody. So like somebody's like near the ground.
Yeah.
When I was outside the bathroom,
Yeah.
like there was like 5 guys holding onto their arms and knees, because like I think the birthday boy like jumped on it, like when he ran out, he like jumped on people's like legs and shit, like he like bolted out of there. So like people were injured. I remember one dude, there was like a drama that happened afterwards for like 2 minutes. They were yelling at each other because I think one of them broke their glasses.
Oh no.
There was another dude that was so scared he just hid under the blankets because he wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was chaos, and one of the dads or the parent, like one of them like woke up, ran down, like, "Hey, you all go to sleep, we have work tomorrow, stop yelling." And then everyone was like, "Yes, ma'am," and then everyone just like crawled back into bed, turned off the light, and then it was really quiet, and then somebody just farted and we all started laughing.
Yeah, that's
It's the only story I can remember.
Yeah, I get that. That is also an awesome story. Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for sharing your stories with us, John, and hopefully next podcast you'll share more.
Oh man, I'm gonna like probably forget them or remember them randomly.
Okay, Rainier, do you want to say anything to our audience before we depart for tonight?
No, just stay healthy, guys, and live the life that you want to live.
Okay, they said their pieces, and I will say mine. Everyone is precious. You guys are just as precious as everyone else, and we will see you guys, I guess, in the second Monday of the next month. So, but I will still be streaming, so I will probably see you guys on Wednesday. But as for these guys, you will definitely see them in the next podcast. So take care, guys. Bye bye.
Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.